Hello, everyone, and welcome to Round 5 of the 2022 AMA Esport Motocross Championship in MX Simulator. It is the RedBud MX Simulator National, live here on Start Your Systems, twitch.tv/Init Esports and ESTV. Thanks so much for tuning in to the RedBud National here tonight in MX Simulator, and we're not going to waste too much time because it sounds like we are not going to have last chance qualifiers tonight, so I would like to personally welcome you guys to the broadcast here tonight. Kellen Brower in the booth, going to bring you guys the action all night long here at the RedBud MX Simulator National. We're going to talk about a couple things leading into the races here in just a moment, but it sounds like we're going right into 250 Moto 1, which is obviously exciting news for the fans watching here at home, but a little bit quicker for us to get kind of things rolling here tonight right from the get-go. So let's go ahead and first start talking about qualifying, which has already happened here for the last day and a half or so on the RedBud track. But Payson Johnson has gone fastest once again, the championship leader on the number 51 machine there on a 203.281. But Alexis Leclerc nipping at his heels there to 203.437. And we know Leclerc has been very good at America's racetrack here at RedBud in the past. Tyler Lang, the defending champion, down there in third, with Chase Blakely and Daniel Mills rounding out the top five in the 450 class. And we're seeing a lot of separation basically from, the top two on backwards, but it's pretty close beyond that. Like, you look at Blakely down to Blake O'Brien, you're only separated by about a second between those guys right there from about fourth on back to ninth. So maybe we're going to have some good racing back there in the 450 class tonight. The 250 class, though, Nathan Prin has gone fastest. So Frenchman on top in the 206.156, but your championship leader, Logan Leitzel, right there behind him as well. A 206.546 for Leitzel there. Sean Hambrook, Cade Matherly, Jaden Wilson also inside of the top five, and a host of others all ready to do battle tonight here at RedBud. Let's talk about the championship standings real quick as well before we jump back in the server. It has been a runaway, really, in both classes, but definitely this 450 class for Payson Johnson through the first four rounds of this championship. Already a 49-point advantage, but you can see that, these guys are trying to keep pace. They're trying to stay close as much as they can, but Johnson just pulling away, and there's only 25 points on the table for each moto, and a full day of racing, there's only 50 points on the table, so he's already almost a full race day ahead of everybody else, and we'll see if anybody can stop that trend anytime soon. Logan Leitzel, pretty much the same story in the 250 class, though. 48-point lead on Nathan Prin, and it's really starting to be Prin and Leitzel separating from everybody, but obviously Leitzel with the most separation. Sullivan there in third, he's still only 65 back of Leitzel, so he's only about 17 off of Prin, but Prin's starting to establish himself as the guy that's going to challenge Leitzel, where we see several other guys trying to challenge Johnson in the 450 division. So that's kind of how it's all shaping up here tonight at RedBud as we get an overview of the track there real quick, and it looks like we're going to have the moto start here in just a moment. So actually, if I can, I'm going to try to show you guys quickly around the racetrack here tonight, give you guys a little bit of an update of what this track here looks like at the RedBud circuit. Long start straight into this right-handed first turn complex right here. They've changed this all up from about 5 years ago now, since the Motocross of Nations went to this racetrack, and you can see it's a very long straightaway into the first turn complex. Out of the first turn complex, another long straightaway into the second turn U-turn as well, and then finally kind of back on the classic RedBud track once you drop down this step down. Pretty much everything here in the middle of the circuit has been around for quite some time, and really only the start's kind of been the major thing that's changed in the last decade or so. Some of this infield stuff has changed around a little bit in the last decade as well, but for the most part, you're seeing kind of the standard track that we've come to know and love about the RedBud circuit. So out of this little U-turn at the bottom of the hill, you get off of this wall jump and carry speed to get this big triple at the top of the hill, but that is not even the biggest jump on the track, because of course the classic Larocco leap is the biggest jump, and we're going to have to get all the way to the other side of the track to see that. Not sure if I'll make it all the way over there as I try to play and talk at the same time. Used to race competitively in this series from 2012 to 2017, so I know my way around the track a little bit, but it's been a while since I've really put in some serious time to be strong at this game. So what you're going to see later on here tonight, if you're just joining us for the first time, are guys that are very, very talented at this game, MX Simulator. And they're going to make it look a lot easier than I'm making it look right now, because if you picked it up and tried to play it right now after never playing it, you're definitely not going to be even close to as good as I'm riding right now, and that's not even riding that well. So if you'd like to try out this game, though, and see what it's all about, see how talented these gamers are that are competing here tonight, you can head over to mxsimulator.com, try your luck by getting the demo there first and seeing how good or bad at the demo you are, and seeing how the physics engine works and so on and so forth. And then once you figure that all out, you can buy the game. And there's a bunch of user-created stuff to play in the game. This is also a user-created track. I'm on user-created models and gear and all that stuff like that as well. So I go way long on the big flag tabletop jump. We got a donation already coming in hot tonight from Saru himself, as he's donated a $5 donation and says, "Can I get a RedBud?" Yes, sir, you can. RedBud is synonymous with American motocross, of course, but also a big fan favorite for many reasons, usually on the 4th of July weekend, so it's kind of a second Independence Day for a lot of American motocross fans. This year, it is going to be on July 2nd. The race will be in real life, so just couldn't quite get to Laraco's Leap. But yeah, usually kind of like America's motocross track, America's motocross race, and also this track right here will be hosting the 2022 Motocross of Nations in September as well. So pretty hallowed grounds in the U.S. to race this circuit, and we're excited to show you guys some virtual racing on this track here tonight in MX Simulator. So again, no last chance qualifiers or no consolation races, as you guys have probably come to know them as. So we're going straight into the motos, which means 250 Moto 1 is coming up first. And we get to start talking right about Logan Leitzel and his dominance this season, seeing whether or not he can continue that trend, and whether or not someone else can step up and challenge him. We're going to get a couple of these things loaded up here, though, so you guys can see more or less what we're looking at on the screen here. Got to reset the timer and select the correct moto name, but we'll get up in the server. And exciting to go right into the first 250 motos, so you guys can see some racing right from the get-go. All right. So thankful to have you guys with us here for round 5 of the championship. We are almost at the halfway point of this season already. Crazy how fast it has gone by in just a short amount of time. But yeah, round 5. So basically, this is kind of the second third of the championship, so to speak. If you begin right now for rounds 5 through 8, we've done the first 4 rounds thus far. There's a 12-round series, and we started in California at Fox Raceway at Pala, then went up to Hangtown, which is also in California, then sort of working our way towards the East Coast, stopped off in Colorado for the Thunder Valley National, then made it all the way out to High Point in Pennsylvania this past week, I should say. Now we're jumping back kind of to the middle-ish of the United States in Michigan for RedBud. And then after this, we'll go back east again, going all the way out to Massachusetts for Southwick, then come back across to the middle of the country again for the Millville National in Minnesota, all the way back out to the West Coast for the Washougal National. And then there is a little bit of a break in the schedule at that point, because the real-life Loretta Lynn's Amateur National Championship will be taking place over the course of a week and a half in Hurricane Mills, Tennessee. And then we'll be back for the final 4 rounds of the championship after that, coming back with, I believe it's Unadilla. And then we have Ironman, we have Budds Creek, and of course, ending the championship at Fox Raceway 2, coming all the way back to Pala, California to end it off. So that's a look at the schedule coming up. You guys have heard about the championship scenarios. You've seen what the qualifying looks like tonight. So all that is left to do here at RedBud is drop the gate and see who comes out with the Studio 8 Whole Shot Award. 30 minutes plus 2 laps on the docket. 250 class goes first, and then the 450 class will follow. 250, 450, that is based on their engine sizing. So 250 cubic centimeters for engine displacement in the 250 class, 450 cubic centimeters for engine displacement in the 450 class. Basically, you can just look at it as the 450s have more power, but the lap times will still be somewhat comparable. The 450 guys can usually go somewhere around 2 to 3 seconds faster, maybe less depending on the track, but this track is pretty fast, especially when you factor in Laraco's Leap is maybe only a 450 jump on this track. And the 250 guys still find ways around this track pretty well, though. And then, like I said, they each go 30 minutes plus 2 laps, but they do that twice. So we're starting off with 250 Moto 1 coming up in just a few moments here. Then we'll have 450 Moto 1 after that, a short little break in the schedule, and then jump right back into 250 Moto 2, and then 450 Moto 2 to wrap it up here tonight. So 2 times we'll go to the gate for 30 plus 2s in both classes, and we're going to have a dandy old time. All right. Let's see if we could get everything dialed in. We'll give you guys a quick rundown of who is in 250 Moto 1 coming up. All right, so looks like Evan Holt, Noah Viney, Jaden Wilson, Sean Hambrook, Michael, I think that's Michael Butendyke. That's Brent Heitzelman, Braden Tharp, Austin Irwin, Brandon Nygren, Nick Thomasunis, Gavin Smith, Seth Carr, Seth Shirley, Joey Arico, Ryan Swanson, Clement Potencier, Ryland Wright, Sonny Spicer, Damian Lawyer, Cooper Hunt, Christopher McPherson Jr., Johnny Padani, Alec Horn, Colton Heckman, Nathan Prinn, Ethan Gerst, Cade Matherly, Jack Fowler, Nick Niles, Logan Leitzel, your championship leader, Johan Bordeaux, Hayden Stevenson, Carson West, Bryce Whelan, Noah McLaughlin, and Bodie Parker. We missed a couple other guys back here as well. So Frank Jackson, I think we missed Tyler Blowers, a few other names in there, but they are all ready and set to go here at RedBud. Oh boy, strap in folks, 30 minutes plus 2 laps on the docket, and 40 of the best 250 MX Simulator riders across the globe are set to do battle here on this magnificent racetrack. As we are lined up and ready to go, who's going to get that all-important hole shot? Looks like we are starting way on the outside, so if we can work our way back towards the middle, find someone to take a look at. How about Braden Tharp here in the middle? 30 car to sideways. Let's go racing at RedBud! The 180 of Johnny Padani is going to lead him to the inside. Let's see if he holds it through the first corner. He does. Johnny Padani rips the Studio 8 hole shot award, and look at the slew of riders coming into the second corner. Logan Leitzel with a great start on the 16. He is going to shoot down the inside and take over the race lead. That is bad news for the rest of the field, particularly, of course, your fastest qualifier, Nathan Prinn. We'll have to see where the 12 machine settles early on. But for Leitzel, out front, repping a little bit of Evil Knievel setup. He's got a special edition stuff for the Yogi team here tonight at RedBud because they're celebrating the 4th of July with the rest of the motocross community, and he's going to lead the field up the big uphill triple on the first lap of the race. Padani's going to settle into second place, and we're still looking at the leaderboard at the top of the screen there to see whether or not Prinn has got a decent start or has he settled back down the field a little bit, as actually Leitzel gets kicked around on those ruts coming down the hill. You're going to see these braking bumps into these corners. There is a lot of them here at RedBud tonight, and so far Leitzel getting kicked about a little bit there, but a good start as well there for Leitzel getting out front and already opening up a little bit of a gap on Padani. So let's settle back in, see where everybody's at. Padani in second, Seth Carr third, Jaden Wilson in fourth. Bodie Parker rounds out the top 5 with Ryan Swanson in sixth. Noah McLaughlin coming through in seventh. Clement Potencier, I think that's how you say it, Potencier, back here in 8th. Sean Hambrook 9th, and Hayden Stevenson rounding out the top 10. We got a couple guys coming together, including, I think that's Cooper Hunt, who is now on the Panini Motorsports program this week. So Cooper Hunt jumping over a little bit, signing with a new team, and good for him. He almost won a moto last week, but just fell short. We're still looking. Where is Nathan Prinn? Still have not seen the number 12 machine just yet. Here's another fast Frenchman, Johan Bordeaux, alongside Cade Matherly. McPherson, there is Prinn. He is buried down the order as he tries to shuffle his way through the pack. And everybody fighting for position through the sand whoops here on the first lap of the race. This is what it's like to get a terrible start, even if you're fastest qualifier and you go to the line first with first gate selection. There is no guarantees in motocross. You could get just about a start as any of the other 39 riders on the gate. And you can see for Prinn really struggling here on the opening lap. But it is Leitzel who's going to lead us down on the first lap of the race as he comes back through the whole shot line. Padani, like I said, settling into second place, and everybody trying to stick with Leitzel, but he is already opening up about 3-4 second gap on the rest of the field. This could be one of those motos where nobody has anything to say about Logan Leitzel out front. But this is MX Simulator. If you're new to watching, you've never seen it before, this is a very, very challenging simulation motocross video game, and oftentimes a huge lead is not a safe lead because some guys will get into lap traffic. They'll start having some crashing problems. You can actually fall off the motorcycle in this game, and those crashes usually take anywhere between 8 to 12 seconds for you to pick the bike back up. So you have a couple crashes in succession. Suddenly that big 20 to 30 second lead that felt comfortable has gone back to nothing. So even though Leitzel's pulling away, look at right there. Just as I say it, he's going to tuck the front end and go down. So Padani is going to take over the race lead. Seth Carr goes into second, and now Jaden Wilson moves into third as Leitzel picks it up in fourth. So just as I was saying it, maybe a bit of commentator's curse right there for Leitzel. He's going to lose the race lead, and Johnny Padani goes back to the front after hole shotting this one, but the battle seems to be happening right now for second place. Jaden Wilson trying to get in there on Seth Carr, but he goes down, so Leitzel's going to work his way by. Here comes a couple more riders going through. Looks like the front 4 guys had opened up a pretty good gap, so even though Wilson goes down, he's only going to lose 2 spots here on the second lap of the race, which is much nicer than losing much more than that. So Podani going to continue to lead the race here. We're going to see if any of these 250 guys elect to try the leap. I don't think anybody will. The leap is really big this year in sim. Maybe even too big for some or a lot of the 450 guys to try. But Podani's going to check up and double. And yeah, pretty much everybody just scrub doubling into the face of the lander. And the leap in real life is also quite a doozy. Depends on how they build the corner before it. Pretty much depends on who jumps it. But even in real life, it's pretty frequent that you don't see at least the whole 250 pack do it, if not most of the 250 pack not do it. So pretty fair to see that most of the 250 pack is not doing it here in sim as well. But Podani leading him around, and I feel like this is going to develop quite quickly into a bit of a 3-rider battle. Podani is no slouch at the front, but it looks like Seth Carr is actually catching him a little bit here, and they're of course being caught, both of them, by championship leader Logan Leitzel, who has picked it up and gotten right back on the charge to close into this battle. So Podani, the Underground RC, Phil's ski and snowboard number 180, leads this race, but his teammate on the 35 right behind him, and there is Leitzel trying that little inside line. Seems like each of them took a little bit of a different approach to that corner, and the speed carried kind of shows how it works out. Leitzel staying a little bit lower to the ground, but he's going to slide out in the background. Not too much damage there, only lost about 2 seconds. So it's up to a battle between the teammates for the race lead right now. And Podani, the Hungarian rider who currently lives in Ireland, out front and lead this thing from his teammate Seth Carr. Now, what I'm always curious about in these situations is, of course, their teammates. Are they in the same Discord chatting with each other at this time? And if they are, how close friends are they? Because as the teams in this game seemingly get bigger and bigger, sometimes you just don't have teammates that are always on the exact same page. But sometimes you have teammates that are really, really close friends, and they ride a lot during the week together. And this might just feel like another day at the practice track to them. I'm not sure if that's the situation with Podani and Carr, but they definitely are teammates, and it'll be interesting to see if they can kind of work together to hold position here at the front and defend from the charge of Logan Leitzel from behind. Seems like that second rut's the most popular one for these 250 guys because nobody is going for the leap. You can see even Seth Carr, like he's kind of launching pretty far up to the face of that landing jump if you're going to triple the whole thing. Not electing to like really scrub the double and downside the more or less the plateau, because it's a step up. The whole thing is a big step up jump, but more or less if you look at it as 3 separate jumps, it would be called a triple. Either way, it's the leap. And right now, the 250 guys are not doing the entire leap. Shout out to Cody M in our YouTube chat for dropping a little bit of a donation our way. Johnny is ripping. As always, thanks, Kellen. RedBud. And a $5 donation from Cody M. So thanks so much for tuning in. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the show so far. We have still got 23 minutes and 2 laps left in this first 250 moto, plus a lot more racing after that. So grab your favorite snack and a nice beverage, folks, because we're going to be here for a long time watching some good racing. Seems like Seth Carr has found the rear tire of his teammate once again. And if you're the 35 machine here, you might be thinking of a quick pass if you can make it, because Leitzel is coming, and it does seem like Carr has a little bit more pace in hand than his teammate Podani. But just as quickly as that little 3-rider train started to dissolve a little bit, it has tightened right back up. And once again, we have a 3-rider battle for the lead. Give credit to Podani here, though. This is the second week in a row we've seen him kind of right at the front in a moto, at least. And he is holding his own very well at the front of these. Last week, he didn't qualify too well. This week, much better in qualifying. But certainly his race pace seems to be very solid and good at just kind of doing the same lap over and over again, which is really the best way to get better at this game, right? You just able to repeat laps over and over again, and then you push. You go a little bit faster, maybe a tenth or two here, then eventually a whole second faster, and you just progress that way. And it's all about that consistency if you can keep doing it. We have lost Seth Carr. So Seth Carr went down, looks like on the exit of the sand rollers or perhaps before the tabletop. So Leitzel able to skirt around him and get into second place. Now Leitzel, we're going to see how he approaches attacking Padani for the lead, as there is no longer a buffer between Padani and Leitzel and a teammate. Padani making a little bit of a mistake coming onto the start straight. I think Leitzel's closed that gap back down a little bit more, and you're already starting to see some of those ruts develop even more. The track is deforming all the while as these bikes go by. 42 riders on the gate here in this first moto, and each time they make a pass through a section, the track, digs in a little bit more. The ruts get a little bit deeper. The bumps get a little bit bigger, just like it would in real life. The only difference with real life versus this game is the track resets after every moto. Down the inside, Logan Leitzel's wasting no time, and he's going to take the lead away from Padani. So he had been working on that inside and that U-turn. Oh, and then he front flips the big step up right in front of Padani. Think Logan Leitzel's not having a good time this summer in the Nationals? I think he's having a fantastic time as he's going to try to control this inside line down to the bottom. Padani trying to fight back to the outside, but he's going to get kicked off the track. And I think, barring a little bit of a mistake here, Leitzel is going to start trying to pull back away like he was doing early on in this moto. So nice pass by Leitzel. Padani settles into second. It's still Seth Carr in third, and now Buddy Parker has moved up into fourth place. We saw him in fifth place early on, but a nice little run here for the 115 Wonderbread Boys machine. Starting up front, staying up front. Again, going back to the theme of consistency, if you get a good start, the last thing you want to do is crash on the opening laps of the race. And fortunately for Jaden Wilson, it seemed like it didn't affect him too much, but there's many times that you want to send it early, maybe make an extra pass early on. Say you're in fourth place and you want to get one position better, you want to be in third, and it's the second lap of the race. Well, you crash trying to go for that pass, it's pretty likely you're going to get passed by 10 guys that are still right behind you in a train. Wilson got lucky that that did not happen. But for Buddy Parker here, just being able to put consistent laps together early on in this thing has afforded him the ability to remain in the top 5 and actually move up a position, kind of run a solid pace with these guys and see what this front pace is all about. So he is going to scrub Larocco's leap and remain in fourth place. There is Wilson in fifth. Trent Adams has now moved into sixth. Braden Tharp there in seventh. Bordeaux is up into eighth. Max Chwalik, Braxton Worldwide Machine on the 346, now runs in ninth. And Noah McLaughlin currently rounds out the top 10. You have to go back to 13th place to find our fastest qualifier. Here he is, Nathan Prynn. He has caught Cooper Hunt on the number 13 Panini ride. They're trying to work around the 137. That's Ryan Swanson on the Peep.co machine. Both of them going to go to the outside of the inside roller. Dooley's over the finish line jump, and Prynn's going to make the pass along with Hunt. So they will move into 11th and 12th, respectively. As Prynn trying to march forward and limit the damage. Again, it seems like so far in the first 4 rounds of the championship, the one guy that's really been able to at least match Leitzel in at least a moto or sometimes for the overall has been Nathan Prynn, even with the championship lead being as far out as it already is. So for Prynn, again, back to damage limitation, is he's going to make a nice inside pass there on Cooper Hunt, who made a small mistake coming through that corner. Look at the speed Prynn's going to carry. Is he going to quad this? Yeah, look at that, quadding off the wall all the way to the last roller. Not sure I've seen anybody do that just yet. Maybe we'll see that a little bit more often in the 450 class, but just absolutely sending it right there, Nathan Prynn. And he's also going to make another pass right there on the 124 of McLaughlin, which will move him into the top 10. So the march continues for the 12 as we start to approach the halfway point of this race. Cooper Hunt also coming with him, going to get around McLaughlin as well. He goes right back into 11th. And a mistake at the bottom of the hill is going to allow Hunt back by. No, cross jump. Wow, that was close. I don't know how they didn't come together, but a nice job by Hunt to keep it nose high and not get collected as Nathan Prynn jumped kind of across the track right there. So these two continue to fight forward. Go up to Tharp, Chwalik, and Bordeaux as they are going to get around. That's Buddy Parker picking it up. So the mistake has come for the 115. He's going to slip from 4th back into, it looks like 9th place here. And he will have to try to settle back down here and find that early pace that he had that was holding him so strongly inside of the top 5. So Tharp, Bordeaux all went by. Looks like Heckman getting out of the way on the inside right there. Nicely done by Colton Heckman. That's Alex Heckman's younger brother. Of course, Alex Heckman, a lot of you guys have probably known from either his YouTube videos over the years in MX Simulator, or perhaps you've seen him on the professional MX Simulator circuit over the years. He actually runs our SYS racing program in MX Simulator, so cool to see his little brother out here grinding away and making the motos in the 250 class here tonight. Bordeaux is closed up onto Max Chwalik in a battle of the foreigners. I believe Chwalik is out of Poland, whereas Bordeaux is out of France. And these two are pushing up to a little battle ahead of them. I think that's Jaden Wilson just in front of them, as there's Chwalik hopping the quad. Bordeaux only able to triple it this time. And yeah, it is Wilson they're closing up on, as well as Trent Adams. So that is Logan Leitzel's teammate on the 43 Yogi Designs machine. And a little 4-rider pack brewing here. So Wilson working on Adams, Chwalik pushing away from Bordeaux, catching both of them. And Bordeaux trying to make this a 4-rider battle off the back, as we got almost Trileys off of that big tabletop there. Wow, around the outside. Look at that pass by Jaden Wilson. Just sending it to the outside line, and now Adams gets sideways. Almost found that trampoline that Ryan Dungey found in that corner in 2009. But Chwalik able to go by now. He's closing up on to the 25 of Wilson. All the while, Bordeaux on the 40 closes up to that rear tire of Trent Adams. And how about Max Chwalik? Absolutely pushing the pace right now in his Braxton Worldwide number 346 machine. Jaden Wilson, he knows how to win these motos as well, and he is trying to put the hammer down and get away from this group, not be stuck back with them. But Chwalik not giving a single inch to Jaden Wilson here as they jump into the last corner nearly side by side. Wilson scrubs the finish line jump hard. I love the finish line jump at RedBud because it's coming out of like a sweeping right-hand corner, and it just sets you up so well to throw a naughty scrub off of that jump every single lap. And the Race Factor Gaming track crew did a terrific job of building really just an awesome track here tonight that lends to the ability to scrub that tabletop every single lap, as Wilson gets kicked a little sideways on corner entry, but he's actually just edged away from Chwalik a little bit. There is Seth Carr and Padani still giving chase to our race leader, Logan Leitzel. Man, oh man, is anybody going to stop the 16 this year? Same for him and Payson Johnson in the 450 class. It's been quite a while since we've seen this level of dominance in really either class. I guess Johnson did so in the 250 class last year to win the title to a degree. I don't feel like it was this much winning this early in the championship, though, for Johnson. And Logan Leitzel is sort of just making it look a little bit too easy to win these motos week in and week out. Got to start considering whether he or Johnson could even wrap up the championships early by a whole round, because they are getting into the territory where they would both be a full day or, you know, overall day race distance ahead of everybody else in their championships. But now we are working into lap traffic here. So let's give you guys a top 20 rundown here as we have just crested the halfway point of this moto. We still have about 12 and a half minutes plus 2 laps to go here in 250 Moto 1 at RedBud. And Logan Leitzel, your championship leader on the Yogi Designs number 16, leads the way around this RedBud circuit. Behind him, it's Johnny Padani. The Underground RC Phil's number 180 sits in second and is still pretty close to Leitzel if things get a little bit haywire for the championship leader. Third place, another Underground RC Phil's ski and snowboard machine. It's the 35 of Seth Carr, and he has stayed right at the sharp end this whole time as Wilson finally makes a big mistake out of fourth and goes down again. It's only going to lose the one position in the end to Chwalik. I thought that Bordeaux was closer, but Max Chwalik on the Braxton Worldwide 346 goes up to fourth. Jaden Wilson on the Panini Motorsports number 25 slips into fifth. Sixth place, Johan Bordeaux. Another Panini Motorsports ride on the number 40. Seventh for now goes to Nathan Prynn. District Designs number 12, so he continues to try to nudge into the top 5 here and might be getting around, Jaden Wilson. So that is going to be 6th now for Prin. Wilson gets going in 7th. Rough couple corners there for the 25. Trent Adams, Yogi Designs number 43, runs in 8th. Braden Tharp on the CV number 53 in 9th. And Cooper Hunt, Panini Motorsports number 13, rounds out the top 10. Buddy Parker, the Wonder Bread Boys 115, has slipped back to 11th, but still holding on to the front group quite well. Back to 12th, Seth Shirley, another Braxton Worldwide rider. It's the 23 machine for him. Just ahead of 13th place, Sean Hambrook, the I-Spec number 58, as he scrubs down the downhill behind. 14th for Clement Potencier on the 741 machine. Looks like he is on a Honda, so I'm not sure which team that is, but cool to see him out here. Cade Matherly in, what is this, 14th now? No, 15th, excuse me, for the Stance number 38 ride. 16th for Noah McLaughlin, privateer effort on the 124. 17th for Carson West, the I-Spec 486 machine. 18th for Frank Jackson, fills an Underground RC back number 32. 19th for Sonny Spicer on the SwapMotoLive.com number 205. And the 20th and final points paying position at the moment, Hayden Stevenson, Pro Line Designs number 312. He's got Ryan Swanson and Noah Viney right behind him. Viney on the Sparrow 85 and Swanson on the Peep.co number 137. As we take you guys a little rundown through the top 20. Oh, Stevenson closing up to Sonny Spicer. Good little fight here for a couple of points. And even though these guys are not fighting for the race lead, you might think, this is a bit boring or frustrating to not be a little bit further up the order. But even these couple points for some of these guys can mean a lot, especially if you haven't scored a point yet this season. Not sure where Stevenson and Spicer both sit respectively, but if you're trying to nudge into the points a little bit, getting 20th is 1 point, but getting 19th is 2 points. So, just one extra little goal to go for and makes every little position count out there on the racetrack. So you're going to see guys fighting tooth and nail all the way down the order. Peek back out front. Find our race leader, Logan Leitzel, just about to the 21-minute mark. So creeping up on the final little third of this race here. Gap has opened up now on Padani. Looks like it is probably out to over 10 seconds or just about 9.7. 2:15.3 for Padani, 2:11.2 for Leitzel. So right there, 4 seconds gained that last lap alone. Not sure if Padani had a mistake or not. Seth Carr is only 3 seconds behind his teammates, so he's closing in just a little bit more. We'll see if that develops into a fight for second place. And now Prin has moved into the top 5. He's gotten around countryman Johan Bordeaux to take over 5th place. So for Prin here, you're looking at the green dot about 4 corners ahead of you. That, of course, is his championship rival here, Logan Leitzel. I think if you're Prin, though, it's not about how far ahead somebody is. It's just doing your laps and hoping that they kind of come back to you in a sense. It's laying down 2:11s, which is right on par with what Leitzel's putting down out front. And I'm sure number 12 machine here is going to be kicking himself that he couldn't put together a better start in this moto, because clearly he does have the pace. So we'll stick with him on board here for a minute, give you guys a little bit of a perspective of this racetrack, especially now that we are into the latter stages of this one. You're going to see how much this track is broken down, how deep the ruts have developed in some of these sections of the track, and how hard it is to get these tracks right, because it's a lot of braking bumps and little notches and other things that you hit when you're going around this track, as he is caught up right here behind the 317 machine, but trying to move aside. Nicely done there in the end. And you're going to see coming down the start straight right here, this rut right here, that didn't exist when everybody came into the first corner, 22 minutes ago. So that has just all been dug out by riders hitting that same line over and over again. You're seeing how big some of those braking bumps are on corner entry. This little inside line right here is getting deeper as Prin kind of hops out of it. Little kickers coming down the bottom of the hill here. And the track is just ever changing. So you get comfortable in one line, you think it's going to be one way, you come through it, and it's completely different from the lap before based on somebody hitting it weird, or maybe somebody crashed there and left a divot on the ground. And it just takes one little awkward kick to put you on the ground in this game. So all these guys are just doing a terrific job of hitting their marks and focusing on the little bits of track they can see ahead of them. For the most part, a lot of people in this game play in first person, so you're seeing directly the view, more or less, that Nathan Prin is seeing right now if he is a first person player. You can also play the game in third person, as you may have seen from my little lap there at the beginning. But like I said, a lot of people do play in first, so this is the view that people are seeing as they race around this RedBud circuit. Oh, battle for third starting to brew. Max Chwalik has caught up to Seth Carr. And I wonder if this is going to start turning into a battle for second before long. How far away? Padani's still only, man, not even maybe 3 seconds ahead of Seth Carr. So that gap has closed up as well. And while Carr has been closing on Padani, Chwalik has been just absolutely burning this track up to try to close up to both of the Underground RC Phil's machines. Look at that. Chwalik to the outside. Scrubs the finish line jump. Let's see if he can get to the inside here in the next corner. Oh, Carr is going to shut the door. I think Chwalik was just a little bit further back. So into the first turn complex they go, and you can see Chwalik on that 346 machine seems to have a little bit more pace in hand as he is pushed up to Seth Carr. And this would be so awesome to see a fresh face on the box here, really, for both of them. As a mistake for Carr, and he's actually going to just brake right there at the bottom of the hill, kind of let Chwalik go by. I wonder if that was maybe him just saying, let me take a breath here. Been dealing with the pressure here from Chwalik for a couple laps. Let him go by, let him try to sprint after Padani, maybe try to match his lines and see where he's gaining time, maybe pick up on those lines as well. Because Chwalik now, he's only, man, barely 2 seconds behind Padani. That's Padani coming down the hill just in front of him here to the inside. Oof, pushing through that rut there at the top of the hill, and Seth Carr just trying to hold on. So battle for second coming here soon. Padani has had it all his way, at least since he lost the lead to Logan Leitzel there on about the 4th or 5th lap of the race. He's had second place pretty much all to himself since then, but his teammate was slowly catching him. Now Max Chwalik is catching him in a fury of speed, and Chwalik is suddenly right there. Dualies over the flag tabletop. And Chwalik to the inside almost makes the pass, but Padani holds it on around the outside. I think Chwalik was honestly playing nice right there. I think he could have forced the issue and pushed off the track a little bit if he wanted to run into Padani, but the collisions in this game are not always friendly to the aggressors, so you could have easily put yourself on the ground there if you try to push into or push someone off the track like that. Here we go again. Chwalik inside to out. He loves this outside before the finish line jump, and it's going to work to his advantage to take over second place. What a move by Max Chwalik. And Braxton Worldwide 346 takes over second place. So right now he is 16 seconds down of race leader Logan Leitzel. Lap times 2:10.4. He's done a 2:08.7 as his best lap. 2:14.1 out of Logan Leitzel. Man, I'll tell you what, there's still some time here for Max Chwalik to make this thing a little bit interesting. He might need a crash out of Leitzel, but at least in terms of raw pace, Max Chwalik is absolutely flying around this RedBud circuit and gained about 4 seconds that last lap alone on Logan Leitzel. So we're going to see if that trend continues. And could Leitzel be in a bit of trouble here late in this moto? For Leitzel's sake, he is going to hit a little group of lap traffic here shortly. 3-rider train, and then he's got some clean sailing for maybe like a full lap after that before he then hits yet another rather large group of lapped riders that are just going to Larocco's Leap right now. Yeah, that gap is still coming down. He's got it down to 12.9. Still pushing the pace. That's a good poll right there. Chase Donovan saying Max Chwalek's riding style reminds him a little bit of Victor Nycott, who is a really fast Frenchman who used to race. I think the last time we saw Nycott out here was maybe 2015 or 16. It's been a while, but definitely had this kind of aggressive style that seems like he's just honestly pushing around the entire track. So another 2:10.4, but Leitzel kind of responded that time. He did a 2:11.4, so only a second gain that time. But again, lap traffic coming into play. We have a minute left on the clock here. And if Leitzel goes down here, we really will actually have a battle for the win here in the first moto. Chwalek still charging. Padani now settles into third, and Nathan Print has made it up to fourth, and he's not that far behind Padani ahead of him. So the clock will definitely expire this time by, which means we are on 3 laps to go. Prin has, 3 laps basically to try to catch up about 4 or 5 seconds here to get on the box in this first moto. Yeah, a little under 5 seconds actually. And the man he is going to try to run down is Johnny Padani. And tell you what, if you're Padani here, to be in a position to podium this entire moto, lead a couple laps, then run second forever, now running third for a long time, and still maybe lose it in the last couple laps, that would be really frustrating. Definitely have been there a few times in my career. So Prin's going to keep just chipping away at Padani ahead of him, and it seems like that gap is coming down. Oh, Chwalek down out of second place. So any thoughts of a potential battle that we would have seen between him and Leitzel has been fully thwarted right then and there, as Leitzel's going to close up and put another rider a lap down right there. That looks like the 269 machine, I believe. So Leitzel going to come to the 2-lap card right here. Time has expired. 2 laps to go here at RedBud, and Leitzel is all but in cruise control at this point because he can even afford to still have a crash and would easily win this moto. Padani and then Prin settling in back here. So the gap is now 4 seconds. Prin has not really made that much inroads yet on Padani's gap ahead of him. Might be difficult to get there. And I also wonder, I've seen a couple guys go to the right of that little single on the leap. I don't believe they would miss putting a timing gate on the landing of that jump. So we might have a couple of penalties post-race. The cut system or penalty system, depending on what you call it, is basically tracking the amount of time off track and how much time is gained from being off the racetrack, and uses some standard deviation and some fun math to figure that out. So after the race, some time will be added to just about everybody's total race time. At some point or another, everybody goes off the track just slightly once or twice during the moto, and usually it's only like a 10th or 2. It's nothing crazy, but if you do it consistently, sometimes you can get 2 or 3 seconds of penalties, and that definitely can affect it, especially if you're in a close battle like we're seeing here with Prin closing up on Padani. So that gap has come right down now. 1.7 seconds, and it's looking like it's going to get even lower here shortly because Prin is pushing up to Padani's rear tire. And for Prin, if he gets Padani, there is still a small chance he could get second, depending on what happens with Max Chwalek ahead of these guys. But now Padani has to try to defend this position while Nathan Prin comes barreling up from behind, and the white flag will be waving next time by. So Padani just riding that rear tire all the way up to the big tabletop here in the back. And Prin is just ever inching closer. So smooth through those rollers. Prin getting right up to the rear tire of Padani. Oh, Prin, a mistake though. Kind of hopped out of the inside rut right there. Still able to get over the tabletop, no problem. And now he is all over Johnny Padani as Logan Leitzel has taken the white flag out front. So here we go. 1 lap to go in this battle for third place. Padani versus Prin. Who comes out on top of this one? Oh, Padani, a mistake. That might be Prin's opportunity. It's a drag race to the first corner. Padani is going to have to fall in behind, and then he hits his rear tire and goes down. So Prin just got a better drive onto the start straight, and Padani hopped out of the rut coming onto the start straight, which pushed Prin right up to his rear tire, was able to pass him going down the straightaway, and then just held it on a little bit longer, got on the brakes a little bit later. That was just enough to complete the pass to move into third place. So it's looking unlikely he'll get Chwalik unless a late crash here for the Braxton Worldwide rider occurs. But certainly seems that nobody's going to catch this man as he circulates on the last half of the last lap of the race here. And look at how bumpy and ruddy certain sections of this track have gotten. I think the 450 guys are watching the way that this track is shaped up and breathing a sigh of relief that it'll be reset here in a few moments. But Leitzel, pretty just about picture perfect moto aside from that crash on the third lap of the race. Whole shot led every lap but 2 laps in this one, I think, and never really was pressured too much once he got into the lead both times, just made the mistakes himself. So it was a full control moto for Leitzel here, and the prize at the end of the tunnel here will be a first moto victory at RedBud, setting himself up for a potential 1-1 day here at America's track. Logan Leitzel takes Moto 1 at RedBud. So Chwalik looks like he will settle in for second place. Oh, and Padani has gotten back around Prin, so Prin must have gone down. And that is going to be huge for Padani to get on the box. So Padani through that inside line one more time. Just has to get these last couple corners clean. Max Chwalik has finished this one in second. I believe that's a career best finish for Chwalik there on the 346. And Johnny Padani is going to wrap up the podium. And he is stoked. Doing a little bike humping over the finish line jump. Prin 3.5 down at the flag. He'll be kicking himself. He definitely threw that one away late. And Seth Carr trying to hold off Johan Bordeaux. I believe, no, Cooper Hunt. Sorry, Cooper Hunt made inroads here at the end, but Carr will hold on by 1.4 seconds. Cooper Hunt crosses the line in 6th. Bordeaux here with Tharp coming to the line. Look at this line from Bordeaux trying to hook to the inside, but Tharp gets him by 0.3 at the line. Again, a couple spots that might come down to penalties. What is this? Matherly versus Jaden Wilson going at it up to the leap here. This is for 9th. Matherly has got the spot for now. Let's see if Jaden Wilson has a sendy option into this final corner. Matherly goes to the outside. Wilson launches up the inside and front flips to death. So Matherly crosses in 9th. Wilson might lose the top 10 because of this. Trying to get the ship righted, and he will actually at the line. Sean Hambrook crosses in 10th now. 9/10 down at the flag then is Wilson in 11th. Seth Shirley 12th. Buddy Parker in 13th. Trent Adams will settle for 14th. Noah McLaughlin going to get 15th in this one. Well, Sonny Spicer's still right there. So McLaughlin's got to hold steady for one more turn to get this 15th spot sewed up. Seen so many guys send this inside line, and Sonny Spicer's going to try it as well, but just going to miss out. McLaughlin gets it by 0.5. Frank Jackson, 17th. Carson West, 18th. Clement Potencier was down in 19th. First rider a lap down. And Hayden Stevenson, the last rider in a points bank position, ended up in 20th. So we'll take a look at the penalties. About to be applied here in just a moment. But Logan Leitzel, unless he cut a lot of the track, is going to win this thing, and he is confirmed as our Moto 1 winner. Oh, Cooper Hunt able to get around Seth Carr for 5th on penalties. And Sean Hambrook goes from 10th to 13th, which means Jaden Wilson will get a top 10. Seth Shirley gets 11th. Buddy Parker gets 12th. Man, Hambrook, how many cuts did he have? I cannot quite see it at the bottom of the screen, but good gracious, Sean Hambrook losing 3 positions at the line. And the rest of the top 20 stayed the same. So Logan Leitzel, our big winner there in Moto number 1, making his yoga machine look real fresh here on the stream. All right, so 250 Moto 1 is done. 450 Moto number 1 ready to go next. And just like Alex in the YouTube chat right now, I cannot wait to see if the 450 guys are going to huck the leap as well. I'd have to imagine we're at least going to see some guys go for it. Depends solely on who can get the drive out of that rut at the bottom of the hill, though. So here we go. 450 Moto 1 getting loaded onto the gate here in just a moment. And then we'll be racing again with the big boys. As a reminder, in case you missed at the beginning of the broadcast what the current situation is, well, through 4 rounds, it has been the Payson-Johnson show in the 450 class. Johnson, after winning the 250 National Championship in 2021, has moved up full-time to the 450 class this year. Had a pretty up-and-down Supercross season, but since we have taken it outside, he has been electric and has won, I think, every single round to this point. So who is going to stop Payson-Johnson? That is the real question at this point, because no one seems to have a definitive answer. Alexis Leclerc, who is the 4-time national champion of this series, seemingly is pace-wise the closest person to him, but for whatever reason, Leclerc's starts have completely gone away this season. He cannot seem to find his way to the front as early as he used to. And then defending champion Tyler Lang has also not really had the season he's wanted to yet. And again, a lot of that comes down to starts. So we're going to see what will happen here in 450 Moto 1 at RedBud and see if Johnson can get yet another good start, or will somebody else come forward and assert themselves in this 450 class here at RedBud. Great to have you all with us here tonight, watching wherever you are, not only watching in the world, but depending on if you're watching here with us on ESTV, In It Esports on Twitch, or perhaps you're with us here at Start Your Systems on YouTube. Of course, my name is Kellen Brower in the booth. I started Start Your Systems in 2014. Myself and Jeremy Hinters started it together, and we've been broadcasting the MX Simulator Nationals since that inaugural year in 2015. We've been basically the lead provider of the MX Simulator National broadcast stream since then. And we've been so happy to bring you guys the coverage every single year. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show and been with us through many years along the way. But if you're joining us for the first time, we hope that we're providing sufficient entertainment for you on whatever day of the week it is that you are watching this. Chase Donovan, am I going to Loretta Larry's? That's a fine question that I don't know the answer to just yet. I have offered my services to basically the MX Sports team. Said I would go and announce at Loretta's if they needed me to, and do so for Racer TV, but haven't officially heard back. So at this point, no, but we'll see. Well, I'm glad, Strive Bryson, that we are entertaining you, and hopefully we're entertaining every single one of you guys that are watching live here tonight. Always great to have a live viewing audience for these streams, and also a lively chat to hang out and watch these broadcasts every single week. All right, let's give you guys a rundown of who is on the gate for this 450 Moto number 1. Tyler Lang, Caleb Hall, Sam Goffam, the 96 of Chris Post, a.k.a. RedBud! Jeremy Seabolt's out here, Reed McYoung, Kyle Carpenter. There is your championship leader, Payson-Johnson. Trevor Burns, Aaron Rockefeller, Matthew Grist, Dylan Copeland, J.R. Reyes, Caden Gross, Anthony Pachone, Blake O'Brien, Devin Davis, Rasmus Koch, Jeff Cooper, Austin Bear, Adam Holm, Ashton Rakowski, Braden Carter, Braden Castellaneta, Peter Like, Bob Joe, Nico Marchini, Julian Ori, Cole Gress, Robert Wilson, Reno Brennan, Jack Haley, Roy Mitchell, Zach Fisher, Alex Kerr, John Heilman, Dylan Adams, Daniel Mills, Chase Blakely, Pablo Vial, and of course the 4-time champ himself, Alexis Leclerc. So here we go, folks. 30 minutes plus 2 laps and a battle royale about to commence. This is arguably the 40 best riders in MX Simulator in the world. Of course, I think if you move some of the 250 guys up to the 450 class, they'd be rather competitive as well. But this is the cream of the crop. This is the championship they all want to win and all want to compete for. And they are all ready to go for it here at RedBud right here, right now. Who's going to get the all-important hole shot? Let's take a look at the 9 of Braden Carter. Here we go for 450 Moto 1. Well, Carter's a good person to watch. He's going to get to the corner first. And it's going to be Braden Carter, the Supercross champion, picks up the Studio 8 Hole Shot Award. Alexis Leclerc on the 7 is going to funnel in right behind him. I see Johnson with a good start as well. But Leclerc trying to go to the inside and go to the lead at RedBud. Not quite just yet. Carter controls it down the hill on the first lap. So Carter from Leclerc, who's down. Leclerc's down and off the bike. And I think Johnson went down as well. I'm trying to look back. Yes, Johnson's down on the inside. So the 7's down. The 51 is down. One of the Yogi riders is down. Matthew Griss going over the bars, but this is huge to see Johnson down on the first lap. He's finally not got the start he has been getting so many times this year, and he's jumping across the track trying to avoid the 21 of Chase Blakely, who was down. Man, oh man, this is going to be chaos. 17 of Adam Holm was down. He caused a bit of a stack up. That's the 70 of Austin Bear getting back on the track as the 15 of Daniel Mills crosses over in front of Payson Johnson. 4 or 5 wide through the corner, and Johnson just went down again, I think. Yeah, he's upside down at the bottom of the hill. He's caused a bit of a stack up. More riders piling in. A front flip for one of the JDR bikes. But this is incredible. Johnson has a load of work to do as he goes off the track to avoid some chaos. Wow. So here we go. Strap in, folks. About to watch one heck of a race, and Braden Carter has a huge lead already on the first lap of this one. So let's see who jumps the leap. We'll go through the order here and pick out who is going to clear it and who is not as Carter settles into the second rut. Not sure if that's enough to get a drive up for the leap, but we'll see. First lap, he is going for it. Carter hucks the leap on lap 1 perfectly over top. O'Brien's going to settle for just scrub doubling. Dylan Adams, he's hopping the leap, as too is Tyler Lang. Oh, somebody just flipped the leap. I can't click on who it is because Julian Ori was down at the bottom. There is Reno Brennan who just flipped the leap. So we got to go back because Julian Ori kind of screwed it all up. So who else is hopping the leap on the first lap? Copeland, Siebold, Kyle Carpenter, Jeff Cooper, all these 450 guys, they're getting the leap. So seems like the 250 guys just don't have the power as Johnson kind of shorts it in the back. And Johnson's going to complete the first lap in 24th place. So about halfway in the pack here. Mid-pack there exactly for Payson Johnson, but not in the points just yet. A lot of work to do for sure. That is interesting, though. Braden Carter, again, we have talked many, many times this year about how he is self-dubbed not an outdoor guy. 2-time Moto Option Supercross champion now, though, in 2021 and 2022. So knows how to win those indoor races, but has yet to win an outdoor national in MX Simulator. And he is trying to make that happen today here at RedBud with a great start and the early lead here. We'll see if he can kind of stretch this gap out a little bit while there's not too many of the heavy hitters right in tow. But teammate Tyler Lang and defending champion might be the biggest story here. Yet to win a moto this season. And he might be in arguably the best position he has been all season to try to do it with Leclerc and Johnson both further down the order after some lap 1 chaos. So Johnson now up into 19th. Haven't seen, I think Leclerc might have already peaked into the top 10 or is further down the order. But you can see Lang already closing up on Blake O'Brien. So let's see if we get a cleaner view of the leap this time by... You know what I'm going to do? Gonna leave it on the leap. Let's see who jumps it. So there is Blake O'Brien and Tyler Lang both doing it in second and third. It's the 137, I believe, of Pablo Vial right there. Couldn't quite see. There's Reno Brennan flipping it, so he definitely is. And there's Leclerc on the 7. It's like Holm, the first guy not to do it this time through. Got Roy Mitchell hopping the leap. Pachone. Oh, Johnson almost lands on one of the Yogi riders, I believe it was. Oh, and then the 77. Is that Tim Reno coming in? Near contact right there in the air, but you're seeing most of the field get it. I think they're all going wide enough at the bottom of the hill to pop the leap. But nobody really tossing out a big whip except for Brennan with the backflip. Oh, someone else back here. That is, I think that's a 28 machine. Or is it a 29 at Gerst? One of the Panini Motorsports riders flipping the leap. Love seeing it. So Carter, oh, just as we come back to him in the leader, he's gone down. Tricky off-camber corner, and Blake O'Brien's going to try to take the lead. He hops the rut and gets into T-Lang. Lang's going to take over at the front, but Pablo Vial moves into second place. So just like that, the entire race is flipped upside down, and the champ is out front. Lang to the point here at RedBud. I'll tell you what, Pablo Vial has come alive after a terrific week last week at High Point, just carrying it right over here to RedBud. And he's going for the lead. Dooley's off of the big table on the side of the track, and Pablo Vial takes it over. Unbelievable. The Frenchman out front at RedBud. Double, triple, double through the sand rollers. And look at this. Carter's going after Lang as well. Man, oh man. Dooley's on the table right there. And I feel like Lang is just completely befuddled of what's happening right now. Getting railroaded, essentially. But Pablo Vial is going to lead this lap around. And we'll see whether Lang or Carter can close back up and make a pass. Terrific little action here at the front of the 450 Moto 1. Still a lot of racing left, though. 23 and a half minutes, plus those 2 laps at the end. As Carter swings wide and tries to square the corner off a little bit. They're starting to open up a slight gap on... excuse me, it was Lang that was kind of squaring off the corner. They're starting to open up a gap on Carter, who is back there in third. As Vial scrubs that table down the hill. Like I said, good week last week at High Point for Vial. Definitely fighting up towards the front a little bit more so than we saw at the first couple of rounds. And we know he has the speed, but it's about that consistency to be able to put it in for 30 plus 2. So how is this going to fare with him leading the moto? Is he going to start riding a little bit too, I guess, tensed up would be the right word? Or is he going to settle into a comfortable pace that he feels like he could hold for the duration of this one? Either way, Lang is going to try to force the issue on him as quickly as possible. We got a rider down in the corner here. Someone's AFK as well. I'm not sure who that is. Unbelievably, Payson Johnson's already up to 6th, and Lang just went down. Tyler Lang kind of scrubbed the inside anthill and immediately fell off the bike on landing. So there goes Leclerc by. Leclerc is getting blocked a little bit by whoever that was, the lapped rider now trying to move out of the way. And Leclerc is going to officially move into 3rd place. As Carter goes to 2nd, Vial leads. So it's Vial from Carter in 2nd now. Leclerc, he's going to come into the rollers here. He is in 3rd. T-Lang now slips back to 4th. And then Adam Holman, Payson Johnson coming through in 5th and 6th. So a lot of guys that were down early on already making some impressive runs through the field here. And Johnson trying to waste little time on Adam Holm. Oh, look at the dualies in sync off of the table there before Larocco's leap. Holm's going to have to go way outside to try to get a drive. And Johnson through that 3rd rut looks like he's going to get the leap relatively easily as well. So Johnson now inside of the top 5. Lang 4th, Leclerc 3rd, Carter 2nd. They're all chasing Pablo Vial. So this is an interesting top 5 mix right here. I would say probably we're looking at the fastest rider in 5th, and then the 2nd or 3rd fastest riders in 3rd and 4th, but Vial's going to go down with the race lead. So Carter goes by. Will he lose more positions? He's trying to get going still in 2nd, and he will do so just as Leclerc gets there. So Carter back to the front. Now Leclerc is going to move up on Vial. And it tightens up the front 5 of the race just like that again. So Vial, Leclerc, Lang, and then Johnson off of the back of these guys. But it looks like we've lost Johnson a little bit. Yeah, Johnson, he went down. He's down in the off-camber. So Reno Brennan goes by. Daniel Mills will not quite make it through, but now Reno Brennan just there ahead of Johnson. It looks like Adam Holm also made it through again as well on the 17, but man, oh man, Johnson around the outside of Brennan. Brennan's just like, you have it, dude. I'm not even going to try to deal with the pace that you're putting down here. But the risk that you run, as we just saw right there with Johnson going so fast, is you often override the track a little bit, especially on a tricky off-camber corner like the one he went down in. And look at Lang hopping to the inside. This is your 2021 championship fight reinvigorated. I think this is the first time we've really seen Lang versus Leclerc on the same stretch of racetrack this season in the AMA Esport Motocross Championship. Leclerc trying to push away from Lang just a little bit and catch Carter out front. So Leclerc actually kind of sandwiched by the 2 guys that have most recently beat him to a title, as Leclerc fought Braden Carter tooth and nail all the way to the bitter end of the 2022 Moto Option Supercross crown, of which Carter was able to hold on for his 2nd consecutive title. And then in the Outdoor Championship last year, Leclerc narrowly missed out on beating Tyler Lang to what would have been his 4th straight and record-setting 5th overall national championship in the series. So he's in a bit of a sandwich, and he's trying to hold steady amongst, again, some of the best players in the game at the moment. All these guys doing that quad, though. Vial and then Adam Holm back here, with Johnson starting to close back up on him. And you even talk about Adam Holm a little bit. This is another guy that former MXGP world champion in the game. And nearly, and by nearly, I mean literally the last corner of 2018, he was 1 turn away from winning this national championship in 2018 when he and Alexis Leclerc came together in still what is arguably regarded as the greatest MX Simulator race in the history of this game, which has been around since 2008. It looks like Holm is under attack now from the current championship leader, and Johnson, who's going to go right around the outside and take over 5th place once again. Oh, Carter off the track. Leclerc takes over the lead. So not sure what happened to the 9. We just got back to the front as he was coming back on in the rollers. Must not have been a big mistake because he wasn't too far ahead of Leclerc. So maybe just front end tuck and went off the track a little bit and got back on right behind him. But now Leclerc takes over the race lead, and this is going to be so fascinating to watch as we get to the middle point of this one, as Leclerc leads from Carter, Lang, and Vial, but Johnson probably is the fastest rider on the track. We'll get actually a lap time check to confirm that. 2:03.8 was his best, and he's putting down another burner right now, but he's going to go down again. So Johnson again pushing the pace. So Holm's going to go back by. Will he lose yet another position as D-Mills comes into fray with Reno Brennan? No, not quite. So he will remain in 6th. But you can see 2:03.8 for Johnson. 2:10.7 was Holm's best. 2:07.6 for Lang. 2:06.7 for Vial. 2:09.7 for Carter. And now Leclerc sets his best at a 2:06.6. None of these guys are even sniffing the 2:03 that Johnson put down. Pretty clearly fastest rider on the track. But if he continues to push the pace as he has done so thus far, it's pretty likely he's going to end up on the ground more times than not. So he's got to try to rein it in just a little bit here. To the inside there in the off-camber that took him down a little bit earlier. It's like closest battle we got right now might be Braden Carter versus Pablo Vial. I think Lang went down maybe a lap ago and we missed it as well because he was right with these guys. Or actually, I think he was ahead of Vial. So he must have just had either a quick fall-off crash or a lengthy slide out of some sort because he's not with these guys anymore. But he still is ahead of Payson Johnson. So Carter just keeping his eyes facing forward and trying to reel Leclerc back in, but Leclerc starting to kind of put laps together out front. And just like Tyler Lang, well, it's been a little while actually. Leclerc won the second moto, I believe it was, at Fox Raceway. And to this point, I believe is the only other rider that has won a moto aside from Payson Johnson. But the 7 machine out front, rider out of Picardy, France. Smooth as silk, and that has been sort of the mantra for a long time with Alexis Leclerc. Just puts in his laps, hits his marks. Pretty tough to beat when he's on, that's for sure. As Carter is still settling in second. Looks like Lang has gotten around Vial, so he is back into third place. And I think Lang's actually going faster than Vial and Carter. Is he fastest on the track right now? 206.2. Yeah, 281 out of Leclerc. And then Johnson, of course, has had a couple of mistakes these last few laps. So fastest rider on the track last time by, Tyler Lang. He's only 6 seconds off the lead. And we still have a lot of racing left to go here. Sounds like somebody's down, but it is not Leclerc. It is a lapped rider. That's the 924, I believe, of Rakovsky picking it up. Carter to the outside. Lang down here as well. And then Vial coming in tow. Like I said, about 10 seconds back is Johnson, but I think he's on another heater right here. So we're going to see what this one results in. As you got kind of a freight train of lap traffic that the second, third, and fourth place riders are working through ahead of Johnson here. .2036. Yet again, Johnson putting down 203s, which of course is the fastest lap of the race, but also fastest rider on the track without question. Nobody even close. 2094, 2097, 2076, 213.3. He just went 10 seconds a lap faster than Pablo Vial the last time by. Just incredible. Vial, for his credit, is really pushing up on Tyler Lang, though. He is not letting the one go. Somebody's coming in wide open from off track. I don't know who it was or where he's going, but I just heard it. I don't know where he is now. Well, something's going to brew here. Something's happening. That is for certain. What it is, I do not know just yet, but is it going to be Johnson catching everybody yet again? We saw him literally come from way back to eventually catch and win the second moto last week. We about to see another ridiculous late last 10 minutes of the moto charge out of the championship leader. Definitely not out of the question. He's only about 12 seconds off the lead right now and doing just godlike laps around this track. Oh, shorts on the leap, though. Yeah, it just pushes him down to a 2:05. Can't clear the leap, but does a faster lap than everybody ahead of him still. Looks like Lang is starting to reel Carter back in for second. That might be our closest battle starting to brew here as Vial's sticking close behind them. This is definitely brewing. Oh, another mistake out of Carter. Now Lang is right there. Both of them trying to bust this quad out. Lang shorts it a little bit. So that is going to be Carter pulling the gap open just a little bit more. And Vial is soon going to be under attack from Payson Johnson behind him. You can see Vial coming down the hill right here. And Johnson right on his tailpipe. And you just saw the gap up to Lang ahead of Vial here as they're going down the hill in front of these guys. So Johnson's not only going to have a chance to get Vial here shortly, he is going to be right behind Lang and Carter before long, as well as Vial and Johnson kind of throw dualies off of the table. Whoa, Johnson. Oh, how does he save that? He eventually lays it over at the bottom of the hill and then wheelies and goes down. So he saved an incredible save as he got kicked sideways and had to hop through the ruts. Then it nosed in a little bit and actually caused him to like slide out. But then he grabbed a handful of throttle, dropped the clutch, looped out, and the second your head hits the ground hard enough, you will fall off the bike in this game, which is exactly what happened to Johnson right there. So right back to the drawing board once again. So now, as we're past the 20-minute mark, I'm going to give you guys a top 20 rundown as we have a bit of time before I think things really kick off here again. Alexis Leclerc, Panini Motorsports, backed by Safe Moon, number 7, leads the way here at RedBud. Braden Carter, the number 9, Phil's Underground RC machine in second. The defending champion, Underground Phil's Ski and Snowboard number 1 of Tyler Lang in third, with Pablo Vial on the 137 Yogi Designs machine right behind him in fourth. Payson Johnson, Privateer effort out here on the 51, is in fifth. Adam Holm, Aspect Visual Co. number 17 in sixth. Seventh for the Covenant number 18, it's Jeremy Siebold. Eighth, Daniel Mills, the JDR number 15. He's going to pick it up still in P8, though. Reno Brennan is in ninth. He's actually number 422, but he always runs 0 on his Wildside Designs program. And JR Reyes, the number 73 SwapMotoLive.com machine, rounds out the top 10. 11th for Devin Davis on the number 31 Yogi ride. He's going off the side of the track there. Kyle Carpenter on the number 39 Tagger Designs JDR machine in 12th. 13th for Bob Joe on the Jack Daniels Racing number 91. 14th for Jeff Cooper on the Yogi number 117. 15th for Chase Blakely on the BPC number 21. 16th for Austin Bear as he lays it down. And Caden Gross is actually going to go to 16th on the Billabong number 118. So Bear on the 70 Yogi Designs machine slips back to 17th. Roy Mitchell on the JDR number 270 is in 18th. Braden Castellaneta, Underground RC, and Phil's number 26 is in 19th. And John Heilman, the SwapMotoLive.com number 44, rounds out the top 20. So those are the current points scorers at the moment here at RedBud. And we are back to the front as things are starting to kick off. Pablo Vial has once again been caught by Payson Johnson for 4th place. Johnson right now, a little bit in danger of snapping a 6 consecutive moto victory streak. He has won every moto but the second moto at Fox Raceway thus far in the season, and he's won 6 in a row coming into this first moto here at RedBud as Vial lays it over in front of him, and they nearly come together. But unless Johnson can put some tremendous laps together here in the last 6 minutes plus 2 laps, it is looking pretty likely that he is not going to keep the streak up. But at the very least, I think what he's hoping for is to get on the podium and keep a perfect podium record in the motos through the first 9 motos of the season perfectly intact. Man, just got that first corner so good, he actually had to slam on the brakes to not hit Vial coming through the second turn. Inside there, funnels back to the inside here. Oh, filthy scrub off the plateau right there for both riders. And this is a nice little fight here for 4th place. Johnson to the inside. Vial to the outside. Vial launching out nearly to flat right there. And then a huge whip at the top of the hill. Oh, landing in the rough stuff and getting kicked about a little bit. Inside move. Johnson gonna get it done and go up into 4th place. And Vial still swapping, coming all the way down to the off camber, but a nice job to corral his 137 machine back together. As now Johnson sets his sight on Braden Carter, who is in 3rd place ahead of him. Ooh, battle for the lead brewing. Leclerc's 6-second gap has gone to just about nothing. And actually, that makes it much more possible for Johnson to still win this moto. But Tyler Lang licking his chops here. He's trying to win his first moto of 2022. Definitely don't think he would have wanted to wait till round 5 to make it happen, but it's laying on a silver platter right in front of him if he can go and take down the 4-time champ Alexis Leclerc. Oh, and Leclerc goes down out of the lead. So Lang goes down, or Leclerc goes down, Lang goes to the lead. Carter's going to go to 2nd, Johnson to 3rd. And we still have 4 minutes and 2 laps to go. So 3rd place now up to 2nd, I believe. I think that was Carter down. It was Carter down before the finish line jump, and it is a 6-second deficit to the race leader. So we will see if Johnson can run down defending champion Tyler Lang in the closing stages of this one. They probably have 5 laps to go, so there is certainly time. I think it's going to come down to whether or not Lang has mistakes in him. But I guess Johnson, right, has the outright pace. So maybe it's Johnson we have to keep an eye on to whether he has the mistakes or not, because speed is not a problem for the 51. Leclerc tailing in right behind Johnson just in case things go sideways for him, and Lang was actually down in the off camber, so Johnson is suddenly right there for the lead. Battle at the front here at RedBud. Under 3 minutes left. And you have to wonder if these guys start to, I don't want to say play dirty, but maybe push the envelope a little bit with Johnson and give him little breathing room when they are actually battling with him. Because it's, I mean, all hands on deck at this point, right? He has destroyed them through the first 8 motos of the season, essentially. Oh, Lang. Ride the nose into that corner. And Johnson is right there breathing down his neck. So what does Lang do? He is going to go for the 3rd rut, in which Johnson follows him in. And Johnson made a little mistake that time. He gets high-centered on the rut. So Lang is going to have the advantage. Johnson is not able to do the leap, so that's going to pull Leclerc back a little bit closer as well. And it's down to these 3 because Carter has slipped back. He's 11 seconds off the lead. As these guys work through lap traffic, Lang just got held up before the finish line jump, so Johnson's right there, but Leclerc has closed in as well. So we are looking at probably 3 laps to go, and the battle is on. Johnson all over Lang coming into the first corner. Outside line for Johnson. Cuts back to the 3rd line through this corner is 143. I think that's Cole Gress. He gets in the way of Lang, and Johnson takes over the lead. So Gress, a small mistake, and Johnson takes it right over. And Lang has no response, especially with lap traffic in the way. It's one of the JDR riders not moving out of the way at this point in time. Not sure who that is. Finally, he's going to just turn right and go off the track. But Johnson goes to the lead. Now, let's see if he can hold it. With Lang and Leclerc breathing down his neck. Oh, that's a big mistake right there. Gonna cost him a little bit of time, and Leclerc gets the pass done on Lang. I'm not sure if he had an inside line and put Lang down or not, but it seems like he was already there, and Lang actually hit his rear tire. So Lang getting tossed around a little bit here, gets into Cole Gress to start this whole thing. Then Leclerc puts him on the ground, and it's down to Johnson versus Leclerc for the moto win. Oh, another mistake, and here comes Leclerc. Battle is on at the front once again, and time is about to expire. So we are looking at a 2-lap board coming out next time by. Does Leclerc have anything for Johnson? Ooh, nice line by Leclerc right there. He's going to pull back close. Dooley's big scrub off of this table. Then funnels into this third rut. Look at how deep that corner entry is, though. And both these guys trying to get enough drive to get the leap. Leclerc might actually be short. Just gets over it. Now Johnson, a mistake. Whoa, gets into Leclerc, and Leclerc goes down. I don't think Leclerc was expecting Johnson to have a big kind of hiccup coming through that straightaway. But he gets into the back of the 51, and Johnson now has a comfortable lead to manage with the 2-lap board coming out. Wow. Unfortunate sequence right there. But that is going to put Lang back into second as Leclerc slips to third. Carter's still there in fourth, and Vial now dealing with pressure from Adam Holm for the top 5 spot. So Vial just able to get a little bit of a gap now on Adam Holm. And that's starting to open up even a little bit more now. So I wonder if maybe Holm and Vial weren't actually battling and Holm was making a pass or something along those lines, as Leclerc is going to make a mistake at the bottom of the hill, lose a little bit more time. So he has lost touch with Lang. But for Johnson, this is about just controlling it from the front here. And he has come from so far back to get to the lead of this one. So the white flag will come out next time by, and barring a late crash here, it looks like this is Johnson's moto to lose at this point. He's still making little mistakes here and there, though. I know that sometimes you're purposely jumping between ruts like that to keep momentum up, but every now and again you do that at the wrong time. The front end goes over the rut and you just knife into the next one. Now he's backflipping, so he's just trying to have fun with it. So white flag in the air here at RedBud. Payson Johnson looking for his 7th consecutive moto victory, his 8th of the season, as Lang crosses in second place, trying to just get any closer if possible. If Johnson were to make a mistake out front, Leclerc crosses in third. Carter not too far behind him in fourth. He is stuck with them, but he keeps making these little mistakes late in this one. Vial 5th, Holmes 6th, Seabolt 7th, Brennan 8th, Mills 9th, and Devin Davis rounding out the top 10. How about this, though, for Payson Johnson? I mean, we tracked the saga as best as we could. He went down real early on. He and Leclerc both down on the first lap at the bottom of the table. And they both picked it up in about 18th or 19th, but then Johnson went down in this corner about 3 or 4 corners later right there and went to nearly the back of the pack. Had to quickly make some adjustments, go off the track at one point to make some passes. And now has charged all the way back up to the front, and more or less, despite the speed he's putting down, the guys out front have kind of thrown this thing away. There's been way too much crashing going on between Leclerc and Lang, and Carter to really hold this thing all the way to the end. So Johnson more or less taking advantage of the mistakes as well, but he also has been the fastest rider on the track lap after lap after lap. And once again, we're going to see him atop the podium here as he brings it through. A couple more corners to go. We're going to get one more look at him over the leap on the final lap of the race here. Carrying speed through the corner, up to the leap. What do we got this time? Just a little float out whip. Nicely done in the end for Johnson to come all the way back. And he's going to score yet another moto victory as Johnson wins Moto 1 here at RedBud. And now his championship lead has officially extended over a full race distance in points. So Lang will end up in second. He has been second so many times already this year. Leclerc going to finish this one up in third. They're all pretty close still at the line in the end. And Carter, who at one point looked like he may be on his way to winning this moto, will end up in fourth, but not too far down at the end. Like we said, Adam Holm has quietly been really the next best guy at every single round this year, and it's given him fourth place in points thus far. But now, crossing the line here in fifth, was able to get Pablo Vial late in this one. Curious to see if Adam Holm gets a start, what he could do, because he has certainly come alive here in the 2022 AMA Esport Motocross Championship season. Jeremy Siebold just dealing with some lap traffic issues right there, and Reno Brennan also with guys coming back on the track from off track to do stuff as Brennan backflips the leap on the last lap of the race. Daniel Mills, he's looking like he will get ninth relatively easily, and Devin Davis should round out our top 10 in this moto. Kyle Carpenter in 11th. J.R. Reyes there in 12th. Chase Blakely 13th. Austin Bear 14th. Braden Castellaneta here in 15th is the last guy on the lead lap, so he will take us home. And he's trying to get around Austin Bear. Oh, and he's going to go down, so he will fall just short. Bob Joe was 16th in this one, 17th for Caden Speck. Caden Groves 18th, Blake O'Brien 19th, and Robert Wilson scoring the last points paying position in this one. Pachon just missing out, but he was 14 seconds down at the line, so not quite just missing out. He was pretty far back. But this man gets it done in Moto 1, Payson Johnson. There we go, cuts her in. Take a look if it changed. Nothing inside of the top 10 changed. And, ooh, actually Robert Wilson's going to get 19th around Blake O'Brien on penalties. So one small change there, but that was the only one that we saw in this one. Payson Johnson, in the end, takes the easy victory on the last couple of laps after having a fight all the way to the front. And we'll see if he keeps the moto streak alive in Moto 2. Before we get there, though, of course, 250 Moto number 2 is coming up next. And Logan Leitzel, the championship leader in the 250 class, won the first moto, just like his counterpart Payson Johnson did just a moment ago in the 450 class. So let's see if Leitzel can do it again as we roll on here into the second motos from RedBud. Got to remember, though, that Max Chwalik also really strong late in that moto. Johnny Padani ended up on the box. Nathan Prynne came from way back to get fourth, as too did Cooper Hunt to get fifth. So we're heading into the second motos, and this is where the overalls will be decided. If you're new here with us on the 2022 AMA Esport Motocross Championship circuit. Motos, each moto, you score points in each moto. At the end of the day, we will tally the combined points from both motos to determine an overall winner. The winner gets 25 points per moto. Second place gets 22. Third place gets 20. Fourth gets 18. Fifth gets 16. And then sixth gets 15. Seventh gets 14. So on and so forth, down by a single point all the way until 20th place receives just 1 point for his troubles. But yeah, we'll combine those points at the end of the day. If Leitzel can repeat again in this moto and win it again, he will, of course, have gone 1-1 here today, which would be 50 points total. So here we go. Quick little lineup check coming into this one. Ethan Gerst, Brent Heitzelman, Austin Irwin, Joey Arrico, Tyler Bartlett, Alec Horn, Michael Mudge, Ryan Wright, Timmy Briscoe, Colton Heckman, Gavin Smith, Bryce Whelan, Damian Lawyer, Noah Viney, Christopher McPherson Jr., Jack Fowler, Tyler Blowers, Nick Niles, Brandon Nygren, Nick Tomasunis, Ryan Swanson, Evan Holt, Hayden Stevenson, Clement Potencier, Carson West, Frank Jackson, Sonny Spicer, Noah McLaughlin, Trent Adams, Sean Hambrook, Buddy Parker, Seth Shirley, Jaden Wilson, Cade Matherly, Johan Bordeaux, Braden Tharp, Seth Carr, Cooper Hunt, Nathan Prynn, Johnny Padani, Max Chwalik, and Logan Leitzel all going to the line here in Moto 2. Alrighty, folks, we're getting loaded in. Give you guys a quick look at all the runners as they are currently out on a parade lap, little reconnaissance lap of the track. Frank Jackson, Trent Adams, and the rest of the field going through. But can anybody stop the 16 of Logan Leitzel? He has been so good in 2022 and trying to keep the streak rolling here at RedBud. All right, here we go. 30 minutes plus 2 laps on the clock for the second 250 moto here tonight at RedBud. Who's going to get the all-important Studio 8 Hole Shot Award? And, of course, who is going to come out on top here of round 5 of the 2022 AMA Esport Motocross Championship season? We're loaded on the gate. We saw Frank Jackson right there, Seth Carr, Tyler Blowers, Buddy Parker, and Logan Leitzel, of course, down the inside. Here we go, 250 Moto 2 at RedBud. Well, Leitzel's got a pretty good start. He might get to the inside to control it. Yes, Logan Leitzel picks up the Studio 8 Hole Shot Award. The 43 of Trent Adams right behind him. So it's teammates 1-2 early on. You're trying to see, that's Jaden Wilson. Oh, Nathan Prynn's got a good start. He's in third, or trying to go into third. He's actually in fourth coming down the hill on the first lap. That's exactly what we wanted to see, is Leitzel and Prynn out front. Now let's see if Prynn can make some quick passes, as actually Wilson's trying to go to the lead. Look at Prynn to the outside, though. Trying to go around the outside of everybody to take the lead. And look at that, Nathan Prynn gets all 3 of them as Wilson goes down. Prynn and Leitzel side by side at the top of the hill. I don't know why Prynn cased the triple so hard, but he's going to lose all those positions he just got as Leitzel goes back to the lead. Adams back into second, and Prynn might actually lose third as down the inside the 45 of Bryce Whelan goes into that position. So he made a quick pass But I think it was because he cased the quad. He didn't get enough drive to do the uphill triple. So I guess that's the price you pay for absolutely sending it, but almost got a ridiculous pass off right there. But Leitzel now leads them up on the first lap of the race to the top of the hill. Adams is going to follow right in behind him and maybe play a bit of a buffer here for everybody behind his teammate. But Prin is right there, so we'll see if Prin can try to establish some early footing. No, he goes down! Oh, front end tuck and immediately falls off the bike. So Bryce Whelan goes over top of him. Prin, amazingly, is still going to pick it up pretty much in the front group. He's only going to lose about 4 or 5 positions, which is rare for falling on the first lap. There's a huge gap from 4th on back, but he still is going to be right in the midst of a bunch of lap traffic here. Look at all these guys. And I don't know why I said lap traffic. This is, of course, everybody on the lead lap still. But man, oh man, these guys are all jockeying for position. And Leitzel's actually in this group, so he went down as well. Trent Adams has taken over the lead. So Leitzel drops from the lead to 3rd, which, of course, Nathan Prin is going to breathe a pretty big sigh of relief because I think he probably thought going down early like that was just blowing it. Wow! Prin got pushed off the track by the 85 of Noah Viney. So Prin, who is... And now Viney pushing the 741 wide into the next corner. Viney just loose cannon out here. Losing positions all the while, pushing guys off the track to do it. And I saw that way at the back. Prin getting pushed all the way to the outside of the track, so he's going to have a little bit more stuff to recover. And that's our leader, Adams, down. So Bryce Whelan has taken over the lead. Leitzel's going to settle into 2nd place. Now Bordeaux in 3rd, and Max Chwalik with a good start in 4th, trying to go to 3rd, actually, on the 346. So we saw Chwalik in the first moto. He actually had the pace to match Logan Leitzel in some respects. So let's see if now, coming from 3rd place, with Leitzel 2nd, if he is going to have a chance. Oh, man, Bordeaux, big moment there. Almost got into the SpongeBob's. Leitzel going for the lead on Bryce Whelan. Let's see if he gets it. Oh, big off for Whelan. Clips the hay bale and goes right over the bars. So that will move. Oh, Bordeaux is going to 2nd. Where is Chwalik? Has Chwalik gone down? Yes, he has. He's losing positions. That's Seth Carr right there with Nathan Prince splitting the difference. He's going to go to 4th. Dooley's in the background. Buddy Parker up into 3rd with Bordeaux now in 2nd. So Leitzel going to have it his own way yet again at the start of this one, and it's going to be him versus himself. His own worst enemy at this point in time. Because if he crashes, he's going to, of course, lose a lot of time. But right now, controls his own destiny, like I said. And we'll see if he can control this race from the front with ease. Bordeaux and then Buddy Parker, but Nathan Prin making amends quickly after the early crash and then being forced off the track by Noah Viney. Dropping down the hill in 4th now behind Buddy Parker. We'll see how quickly the 12 can work up into this group. As Chwalik did indeed go down, he slipped back to 7th. But that outside line that Prin is using, but he's got to get the quad clean. Yeah, that is how you do it. If he did that on the first lap of the race, he might still be leading this race right now. So up into 3rd now around Buddy Parker. But Leitzel, dude, he is absolutely checking out already. Look at this gap. If we look here at the top of the hill, there is Leitzel. And then Bordeaux going off the track in 2nd with Prin coming up the hill in 3rd place behind now. The gap is already opened up. But we'll see. It just takes that one fall-off crash for things to turn back in the favor of either Bordeaux or Prin here. It seems like Prin does have the pace in hand once again. And at least this time he started up here, whereas last time he was way back there, ended up getting a 4th. But the problem is, even if he wins this moto, he's still already lost so many points there to Leitzel with a 4th place in the first moto. So best he can do is just win and hope other things happen to Leitzel in this one that pushes him a little bit further back than second. First, he's got to get around countryman, though. Johan Bordeaux, a couple Frenchmen out here in second and third. Prin making a mistake at the bottom of Larocco's leap. So things starting to settle down a little bit. Seth Carr has moved into 4th place here. Max Chwalik's back into the top 5. So 210.8. Those are the lap times we had come to see with him in the first moto, and he was doing them consistently even as the track got rougher. And once again, just like Prin, he's in a better position than he was in the first moto already because he had to come from a little ways back as well. Ooh, we got someone lagging hard right here. Who is that? That is Seth Carr with some serious internet problems right now. He just slid out coming out of the corner right there. But man, oh man, really lagging around the track right now. Wonder if the internet's going to go completely out or if it'll come back. Whew, Seth Carr just tossing the quad right there. So Chwalik was able to get by. Now Nathan Prin back on the rear tire of Johan Bordeaux as they come down the off camber. Prin really nice control on the inside line. Let's see if it pays off with a pass. Bordeaux holds the inside line here and will hold position as well, but Prin's trying to square him back off. No, he's going to go to the outside here. Nothing doing out there. There's no rut to hit. So he ends up having to scrub the table. Wow, he's still going to make the pass, though. I don't know what happened to Bordeaux. That was interesting. So up into second place goes Nathan Prin, gap at 9.1. And this is going to be interesting. I want to get a lap time check here early on. So Leitzel scrubs going up the leap, just doing the double, as is pretty much all the 250 field. Some of them electing to single, but I don't think they're doing that on purpose. So Leitzel going to cross at a 2:10.2. He's done a 2:09.2, which is faster than what Prin's been putting down. But finally, Prin has some clean air. Gap at 9.3. Let's see if he's matching pace or is he going better? Yeah, there it is, 2:08.7. So Prin has the speed in hand. Chwalik goes 2:08 flat, resets fastest lap of the race from 4th. And he has got Johan Bordeaux in his sights just ahead of him. Ooh, Bordeaux going down at the end of the mechanics area. Oh, man, pick it up before all those guys get there. Go, go, go. They're just coming down the straightaway in a horde. And Trent Adams is going to go down on corner entry there as well. So he's going to go from the front of that group to the back of it in a hurry. Cade Matherly, Frank Jackson, Jaden Wilson, and Sean Hambrook are the riders in this group. So Hambrook finding his way through here to the back wheel of Bordeaux. After Bordeaux picked it up from the crash, has not really stretched it back out from this group too much in the sequence of corners following, just trying to maybe put his feet back underneath of him. Oftentimes when you crash in this game, it kind of throws your focus off. When you're really flowing, when you put multiple laps together consistently, you kind of like get into a tunnel vision where you can more or less repeat the same lines and laps and stuff like that over and over again. But one crash, it just throws you all for a loop. Hard to throw it right back into that groove that you were just in. But so far, it looks like Bordeaux has actually found nice little footing here. So Chwalik and Prin, third and second now, respectively. And Prin has been inching a little bit closer to Leitzel this lap. It's down under 7 seconds. So he just made a pretty lengthy mistake right there at the bottom of Larocco's leap. Dropping the finish line jump 2:09.3, 2:11.8. So there you go. That was 2.5 seconds gained right there, that last lap alone for Nathan Prynn. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be seeing red, and I don't mean his front fender in this moto. He is livid with how things have gone this season for him, because you could pretty easily argue that he's been the fastest rider at 3 of the first 5 rounds now at this point. He was one of, if not the fastest rider in the first moto here. He was pretty much the fastest rider last week at High Point. And he's also been fastest qualifier a few other times this year as well. So he knows how to do single lap pace. But what's really killed him most of the time has been starts. But this time through, he got a start, and it was just an early mistake, an early crash that really put him on the back foot here. So we're watching on board of them now, and he has got 7.7 seconds now to work with to try to get up to Leitzel. Looks like Leitzel may have picked the pace back up just a little bit now, realizing that Prynn was closing that gap down. Yeah, now we're back out to over 8 seconds. The difference here, though, is that Leitzel's about to hit a train of 4 lap riders, whereas Prynn still is going to have clean air for at least another half a lap. Leitzel is now into that group of lap traffic. He's going to get around the 2:43 of Colton Heckman and continue moving forward to the next group of lap riders ahead of that. Ooh, rider down. So there you go, like that. You just have to jump out of a rut right there, or do this or do that. You have to take a line that you're not comfortable with, whatever it is. Stuff like that adds up. It's a few tenths here and there, but when you're in a battle with 2 of the fastest riders in the game and they're taking a couple tenths out of each other every lap, those few tenths that lappers also add to it, then it turns into maybe a full second or even 2 seconds a lap. So Leitzel just having to really kind of bide his time as he goes by each rider. Not force the issue, but also not be too cautious. And hope that they more or less kind of move aside for him. Like right there, very nicely done. I believe that was a 269 machine getting out of the way. 633 just ahead of them. And then Prynn just coming down the straightaway behind. He is starting to get into some of that lap traffic that we just talked about. That's Nick Tomasunis on the 69 getting a little wayward. And that's going to allow Max Chwalik to close the gap up on Prynn a little bit. What is Chwalik putting down? Whoa, 2:06.9. Max Chwalik, fastest rider on the track yet again. And he is ripping around this track right now. So it seems to me that both Prynn and Chwalik have the speed in hand on Leitzel. And it just comes down to minimizing the mistakes while carrying that speed. And there's a chance that one or both of them could get to Leitzel before this is done. If you're Max Chwalik here, what hangs in the balance is if you can get to Leitzel and pass him, not only would it be his first ever moto victory, it would be his first career overall victory. A 2-1 beats a 1-2 or a 1-3 or 1-4 or whatever else would happen behind that. So a 2-1 would be enough to win the overall if Chwalik can get up there and make it happen. Of course, right now, Logan Leitzel sitting on a comfortable 1-1 performance. And even if he were to lose the position to Prynn, he would still win with a 1-2. But Chwalik can play spoiler here if he comes up and gets both of them. We'll see if that ends up happening. Before things really kick off, let's give you guys a top 20 rundown as we are now exactly at the halfway point of 250 Moto 2. 15 minutes have come and gone. 15 minutes plus 2 laps remain on the clock. And Logan Leitzel on the Yogi Designs number 16 continues to lead the way here around RedBud, just like he did in Moto number 1. Nathan Prynn, today's fastest qualifier, on the District Designs number 12, sits in second. Max Chwalik, Braxton Worldwide number 346, running in third place. Johan Bordeaux, the Panini Motorsports number 40, is in fourth. It's fifth for Frank Jackson, the Phil's Underground RC number 32 machine, just ahead of Sean Hambrook, who comes through in sixth on the number 58 iSpec program. Seventh for Cooper Hunt, the number 13 Panini Motorsports ride for him. His teammate on the Panini Motorsports number 25, Jaden Wilson, is in eighth. Ninth for Cade Matherly on the Stance number 38, and 10th for Buddy Parker on the Wonder Bread Boys 115. Seth Carr, Underground RC, backed by Phil Ski and Snowboard number 35, runs in 11th. 12th for Trent Adams on the Yogi Designs number 43. Sonny Spicer, SwapMotoLive.com number 205, runs in 13th. Evan Holt on the Stool Bend 174 runs in 14th. Christopher McPherson Jr. on the 317 Boots House ride is in 15th. 16th for Noah Viney on the Kovenig. I don't know how you say that. Apologies if I mispronounced it, but the number 85 machine runs in 16th. 17th for Clement Potencier. That is the number 741 program, but I don't know what team he's on out there. But 17th for him. Nice job there. Seth Shirley, Braxton Worldwide, number 23, runs in 18th. Ryan Swanson on the Peep.co 137 runs in 19th. And Braden Tharp on the CV number 53 rounds out the top 20. I've been getting yelled at to look at Timmy Briscoe, so we'll look at him get absolutely impaled from behind. That was Ryland Wright that he just got into. But Timmy Briscoe out here struggling to try to make it back into the points. He is now in, looks like, 27th place. And speaking of that, Johnny Padani, who was third in the first moto, is back here as well. He's in 26th. So tough go for Padani. As we go back up to lights off front, Prin in second. Oh, Chwalik just barrel rolled and saved it. It was right on Prin and cased the tabletop, and it makes 100% sense that he just blew the rut right there, because I'm pretty sure he is no longer breathing after his heart just went through his eyeballs. But that was crazy that he barrel rolled and landed that. So he is going to maintain third place and ran a 2:10.9, but he is not as close to Nathan Print as he was when we just went on board with him there for a moment. He was pretty much right on the number 12 machine. Now has to settle back in and try to figure it out again, as we still have 12 minutes and 2 laps left to go. And this is slowly becoming what will just be a battle for second, because Leitzel's turned it back up and pulled back away from these guys a little bit. So they are going to have to really pick it up to catch him, or hope that Leitzel has a crash in him. Oh, Chwalik just getting that quad. I don't know if he's going to get this triple. Oh, yeah, just over the top of it. So these guys are 10.3 seconds off of Logan Leitzel now. So that gap, that Prendon was closer for sure, and he's just been making little mistakes here and there. Seems like Leitzel has responded well to that pressure, but for Chwalik, trying to close up from behind, he is going to be right on these guys. At least to a degree, he's going to pressure Nathan Prynn in a battle for second here, trying to go 2-2 on the day, and hope, maybe against hope, that Logan Leitzel has a large mistake in his back pocket ahead of him. Prin holding steady, though. Chwalik is not close enough just yet. Big gap behind them. Cooper Hunt there with Frank Jackson, Sean Hambrook. Got a 3-rider train here battling it out for 4th place. And Jackson might have a little inside move here on Hunt. No, just had the timing wrong through there. If he could have doubled that braking bump on the inside and hooked that rut. We see the 450 guys almost make some passes there. How about this line by Hambrook? Just all the way around the outside. Ends up off the track, but he's going to be pretty much alongside Frank Jackson, or at least pretty close to it. Good fight. Oh, Hambrook, big mistake in the background. Nice job to salvage it, not end up too malign right there, but definitely lost some time. Johan Bordeaux breathing down his neck. And a quick shout out to MX for Life, $8.94. Just a nice little $10 donation. Doesn't have anything to say today, but a nice $10 donation nonetheless. Thank you so much for the support. Cade Matherly and Seth Carr doing a little bit of battle here for 8th position. And once again, we are seeing pretty much all the way through the field, there's some sort of battling going on here. As look at Seth Carr, almost got to the inside. He ends up making the pass anyway because they both went down simultaneously into the corner, but Carr picks it up first. Funny little sequence right there, how that all kind of unfolded. And now Bordeaux has a group of riders right in front of him that he is trying to catch up to. Of course, Sean Hambrook, Frank Jackson battling each other as well. Cooper Hunt starting to inch away from that group a little bit. But they are still, all of them, chasing this man right here, Logan Leitzel, who is in the thick of some lap traffic. Oh, getting pretty close there with Ethan Gerst. Whoa, Gerst really sideways. Leitzel nearly had to come to a stop going up LaRocco's Leap and had to roll the whole thing. Gerst is still in front of him and hasn't fully moved out of the way just yet. I'm not sure. Maybe the blue bar glitched for a second with the way that he came to a stop. But Gerst racing him pretty hard here. Let's see if he goes wide and lets him by now. Not yet. Leitzel's still trying to pass him. Still hasn't gotten by. Ethan Gerst being a pretty bad lapper here. What's interesting, I don't think there's another Panini rider up there that could win this thing, so he's just being a nuisance for Logan Leitzel specifically, and Prin just went down in the second turn. So just as quickly as Prin had started to close up on Leitzel with some of the things that were happening right there, he throws it away. So I guess maybe the Moto gods repaid Leitzel for having to deal with a bad lapper by gifting him a fall-off crash for the man in second place. I mean, Cooper Hunt is up here. He is Gerst's teammate, but I don't think that that is why he was holding off Leitzel in the manner in which he was. So back here to the battle for fifth place now. Sean Hambrook has fought his way into that position. Pretty good ride here for Hambrook. Love to see some fresh faces knocking on the door for some career best results like this. Cooper Hunt just holding steady. Oh, Leitzel. That gap is, I think it's gone down a little bit. Oh, no. Well, let's see here. As Prin comes into the rollers, did Leitzel just have a mistake and we missed it? Yeah, it just went from 11 to 9.2, so I think Leitzel slid out coming into the rollers. Now under 9 seconds. Weird. And Leitzel's still dealing with lap traffic. Jack Fowler now ahead of him. I think Fowler's usually pretty good about getting out of the way. Well, he's trying to. He's going to the outside. This is a weird spot to try to move out of the way because there's like kind of main lines everywhere. But finally lets him go. So Leitzel crosses onto the 12th lap of the race here. We have 6 minutes and 2 laps left to go. And it remains to be seen if one of these guys in Prin or Chwalik could at least make it a little bit more interesting for Logan Leitzel out front. Prin works his way around some of the lap traffic that Leitzel just had to deal with. And I'll tell you what, man, that gap seems much smaller than whatever it is. 7.9 seconds. It feels smaller than that for some reason. But perhaps it's just the aesthetics that are appealing. The clock never lies, I suppose, right? So Leitzel out here, he is just trying to put a full moto together, just like he did in the first one. Get the lead and control. Don't make too many mistakes. It's okay to not run the fastest laps of the race. Just don't fall. Last thing you want is a fall-off crash to gift a race victory over to somebody else. But again, even if Prin passes him, Leitzel could still finish second and handily win the overall here tonight, as Prin was 4th in the first moto, whereas Leitzel picked up the win in the first moto. But I think he wants to go 1-1. Prin just wants to spoil the party. And that gap has actually started to slightly open back up since we've gone on board with Prin last time. Remember, it's down to 7.9 when we saw it through the mechanics area. Now it's out over 8 seconds again. Seems like Leitzel is put the heaters back on a little bit, trying to put a gap on Prin behind him. Yeah, 2:08.7. Leitzel just put his best lap of the race down and did so. He pulled another couple seconds away on Prin. Yeah, wow, look at this. Sean Hambrook has gotten around Cooper Hunt for 4th. What a ride by Hambrook. Like I said, I love to see it. I love to see some fresh faces get good results. Hambrook's been knocking on the door. Whoa! Cooper Hunt, first person all day we've seen try to do the leap on a 250. He definitely shorted it. But interesting. Finally, somebody tries it. Closes right back up on Hambrook as well. So we had a battle here for 4th place. Hambrook on the 58 going exit stage left a little bit there, but he's just going to hook a rut right there. Cooper Hunt tries to go far inside, pushes that inside rut out. Lost a little bit of time in the process. Suppose now would be a good time to start considering the overalls. Chwalik with a 2.3 should be still good for 2nd overall over Prin's 4.2, but I think that's your podium. Leitzel 1.1, Chwalik with a 2.3, Prin with a 4.2, because Padani, who was 3rd in the first moto, is well down the order still. I'm not sure if he's into the points yet or not, and he could be the only guy that would play a spoiler. Cooper Hunt, he was 5th in the first moto. He is once again in 5th, so he is likely sitting on the doorstep of a 4th overall, depending on where Padani is. But yeah, Padani is not in the points by the looks of it. So Cooper Hunt might go 5.5 for 4th, but he'd like to go 5.4 for 4th, because what really counts at the end of the day are points. The overalls are nice. It's nice to have a 4th or a 5th or whatever overall and feel a little bit better about yourself. Yeah, Padani 27th. Rough go. But yeah, the ultimate kind of point or prize at the end of the season is how many points you get, right? So for Cooper Hunt, a 4th place would be 2 extra points towards his championship tally that right now he doesn't have. So even though it doesn't matter if he makes a pass for an overall position, it does matter for those extra couple points that he wants to add to his tally for the season. And he's got his eyes still set ahead on Sean Hambrook. All right, 7.4 seconds is the lead. It's coming back down a little bit again, but we're creeping closer to the end of this one. 3 laps to go right now. 2:10 flat versus a 2:11.9. So, yeah, about 2 seconds gain for Prin that time by, but it's not enough. We need, or I should say he needs, Leitzel to have a mistake, and I guess we as viewers would benefit from that, right, if things kicked off a little bit like that. But Leitzel's been pretty flawless, especially late in these races. Been rather unflappable once he gets a flow going. And right now looking pretty comfortable with the lead. I'd imagine at this point he's not pushing beyond his actual limits of what he can do on this racetrack. Oh, but just as I say that, he lays it down. Unbelievable. That's the 2nd time in this exact corner I've cursed somebody. And he's going to pick it up and be all sorts of sideways. So Prin is going to be right there knocking on the door. And lap traffic is around Leitzel. They're battling amongst each other too, so they don't really want to concede. That's Carson West and Christopher McPherson Jr., whom I believe are both in points paying positions right now. Carson West just passed McPherson because of that trouble. So Prin, he's trying to get around Carson West. Meanwhile, Logan Leitzel's going to catch a group of lappers that are throwing dualies in front of him. And Prin just got around from the 486 of Carson West, and one of those lappers just moving right out of the way. More good job by the lappers there. But Prin is on him. Can see him. And sometimes all you need is that little bit of extra motivation of the guy suddenly being right in front of you to start pushing. But it also could lead to further mistakes for the 12. So Leitzel trying to settle back down. He still has a lead, and he still has a little bit of a gap. It's not as though Prin is right behind him. It's about a 1.5 second lead. And 2-lap board is now out here at RedBud. So the 16 from the 12. Leitzel trying to go 1-1 here. Prin just trying to win a moto. It would not be for the overall win if he gets it. But it certainly would feel really good to stop some of the damage that Leitzel continues to inflict in this championship. Leitzel trying the outside there. Prin maybe a little bit smoother through that second rut. And then that inside to the hop over line, then scrubs down the hill really hard. I don't know how he didn't go nose over there. Didn't hit the rut I think he really wanted to in the end. And then Prin likes this outside quad option. Let's see if it's enough. He's going to launch to the flat there, get a little bit closer, but Leitzel carries a little bit more speed up to this triple, so he doesn't have to seat bounce it. I think that kind of evens it out a little bit. If you can deal with the fact that he's going to close up a little bit by jumping that quad, but then you'll pull right back to where it was by getting the triple up the hill cleaner, I think that's plenty enough. But Prin, man, oh man, he ripped the outside of that off camber, and he's right there on Leitzel for the lead. Is this the attempt right here? No. Backs out of the challenge, at least for the time being. Hit that anthill on the inside. That's kind of an interesting move. I'm not sure I've seen many people hit that as Leitzel goes off the track. He'll rejoin still in the lead, but man, he's getting tossed around a little bit here. Different line for Prin. I haven't seen many people go way out there. But he's trying different options not to follow, because if Leitzel goes down, does not want to get collected in whatever happens. Oh man, is it going to come down to something on the leap here? With the white flag about to be waving, Prin nearly alongside through the rollers. Tries this inside line. Not quite close enough yet. Dualies. This is the inside line Prin likes, though. This second rut's getting a little bit deeper, but it's just not enough, and it's not going to get him a great enough drive up the inside yet either. So the white flag is about to wave. 1 lap in it for the second moto win. Leitzel pretty well has the overall unlock here, unless things get crazy, but Prin around the outside. Almost alongside over the finish line jump, but Leitzel shuts the door into the next corner. 1 lap to go at RedBud. What is about to happen? This is going to get good, folks. Prin pushing, Leitzel, both of them sliding coming out of the first corner. The 85 of Noah Viney, he's just going straight off the track. Oh, Leitzel stands it up. He goes off the track to the outside, and Prin takes the lead. A little bit of a kick sideways for Prin, but he holds it on. Huge scrub down the hill for the Frenchman. And then controls the inside line. So Leitzel tries this inside line to respond, but he pushes the nose out. Prin is only going to be able to triple. Goes off the side of the track and rejoins. So Leitzel, how does he respond to this change of fate? Again, Chwalik is not close, so if you're Leitzel here, you can throw caution to the wind trying to go 1-1 here, because the worst case scenario is you're going to finish second. Colton Heckman in the way. Leitzel has to hop ruts. Oh, that may have just sealed the deal. That's not Heckman's fault, of course. He was down. He's trying to back out of the way, but just wrong place, wrong time. And that may have presented the big enough gap there for Prin, unless he goes down on the last lap of this race. Rider down. Prin responds well to hook the far inside rut there. Steady over the big flag jump here at the back of the track, and then through the sand rollers one more time. Leitzel's still pushing. Again, you get it close enough. You never know with the penalties. We got 3 corners left to go, and Nathan Prin is trying to steal a moto win away here on the last lap of Moto 2 at RedBud. It is still close, though. Leitzel is pushing. Man, if Leitzel could do the leap right there, that would have been incredible, but it's not going to be close enough. 2 turns left. Final turn in its way. Nathan Prin comes from behind, and he is going to win Moto 2 at RedBud. Logan Leitzel takes the overall win here tonight with a 1-2 performance. But it's always a little bit bittersweet when someone actually does beat you to the flag in the second moto. I'm sure he'll still be happy to leave here with a bigger points advantage than he had. I believe unofficially he will gain 4 points in the championship on Nathan Prin here tonight. Max Chwalik is going to settle for third. And I believe that with Prin going 4-1, that 2-3 that Chwalik had, which would have put him second overall, is actually going to push him back to third. As Cooper Hunt going to lap Johnny Padani right there in fourth. Whoa, still going for the leap, but casing it pretty hard. So Cooper Hunt going to be fourth in this one. Sean Hambrook trying to avoid some lap traffic, doing some silly stuff. It is going to be Hunt in fourth, Sean Hambrook in fifth. Cade Matherly coming through here in sixth. Johan Bordeaux looks like he'll have to settle for seventh. Frank Jackson will be 8th in this one. Seth Carr going to pick up 9th. Getting a little sideways through the corner there, but should be all good in the end for P9 out of the 35 machine. Whoa, Jaden Wilson. Oh, he's going way off the track just to hit the leap on the final lap. And he sends it for style. Greases it in the end. But Wilson will pick up the final position inside of the top 10 in this one. Buddy Parker and Trent Adams coming to the line in a battle for 11th. Adams, this outside line, could have paid dividends. Oh, just misses out. 3/10 in the end. Buddy Parker 11th, Adams 12th. Seth Shirley in 13th in this one. Oh, Braden Tharp slowing down right there. Not sure why, because Evan Holt is closing up. Tharp is going to let Evan Holt by? No, what are they doing? They're just slow rolling to the line. And they let somebody, I don't know what the heck just happened right there. That was really weird. But unofficially, it was McPherson in 20th, McLaughlin 19th, Noah Viney 18th, Carson West in 17th, Sonny Spicer 16th, and then Holt and Tharp who crossed the line together. Looks like Buddy Parker drops from 11th to 13th on cuts, so tough go for him. Frank Jackson leapfrogs Johan Bordeaux for 7th. And that is how it stays. Nathan Prynn wins the second moto, but Logan Leitzel wins the overall here today at RedBud. All right. One moto left to go here tonight. Moving right on through the program, and we are going back to the big dogs for the final one here. Logan Leitzel, Nathan Prynn, and Max Chwalik. Your podium here in the 250 class as Leitzel's going to put it up onto the podium and salute the RedBud crowd here. Virtually, of course. But a nice win there for the 16 machine of Logan Leitzel. Extends his championship lead by yet another 4 points, which puts him over 2 motos of a distance in the championship. I think it's now 52 points, if I remember correctly, that he is ahead. And you only get 25 points for winning a moto. So already, Leitzel looking at a situation where if he can hold that position for the next 6 rounds of the championship, he would wrap it up around early. But who's to say he doesn't continue to extend it and maybe even put this thing out of reach even earlier than that? Oh, wow. Brendan Leitzel actually had the exact same fastest lap time. I didn't actually catch that. Good catch by Tucker Francis and Jacob Cumbridge in the chat. Thank you guys for picking up on that. I did not see that at the first go. So appreciate you guys let me know. All right, one more moto here tonight. Who is going to win this final moto? And will Payson Johnson keep up his ridiculous moto streak through the first 9 motos of the year? He has won 8 of them. He has now won 7 of them in a row. Won the first moto of the year, finished second in the second moto of the year, and then won every single moto since then. Pretty crazy little sequence there for sure. And boy, oh boy, is he going to keep that trend going? Be interesting to see. As a reminder, what happened in Moto 1, Johnson did come from behind to win past Tyler Lang, Alexis Leclerc, and Braden Carter all late in that one to win it. Lang was second, Leclerc was third, Carter fourth, Adam Holm fifth, Pablo Vial sixth, Jeremy Seabolt seventh, Reno Brennan in eighth, Daniel Mills ninth, and Devin Davis rounded out the top 10. The rest of the runners going to the line here in Moto 2 includes Kyle Carpenter, J.R. Reyes, Chase Blakely, Austin Bear, Braden Castellaneta, Bob Joe, Caden Speck, Caden Gross, Robert Wilson, Blake O'Brien, Anthony Pachone, Rasmus Koch, Alex Kerr, Aaron Rockefeller, Caleb Hall, Cole Gress, Dylan Adams, Dylan Copeland, Ashton Rakowski, Jeff Cooper, Trevor Burns, Zach Fisher, Matthew Grist, Reed McYoung, Roy Mitchell. So we got to disconnect and reconnect real quick. John Heilman, Nico Marchini, Sam Goffam, Julian Ori, Chris Post, Peter Like, Hamden Hudson, and Jack Haley made up all the runners that went to the line in the first 450 Moto, and at least most of them will be going to the line in Moto 2. So Matthew Grist, Rasmus Koch, Alex Kerr, they're all on the line. There is Tyler Lang alongside teammate Caleb Hall, just hanging out in the first corner. They are getting ready to go racing. That's some USA-themed bikes right there with some stars mixed in with the blue and the little red accents for the fills. Nice look. Well, let's see what happens. Braden Tharp in chat letting us know on that last lap there when he slowed down and Evan Holt came up from behind. He was actually trying to let him go because he accidentally landed on him on the leap and he felt bad for it. So he was trying to give him the position. Nice sportsmanship there. But Evan Holt just kind of returned the favor and said, "No, sir, that is okay. You can have the position." So nice to see that even after battling the whole moto, going through the frustrations of trying to get some points, those guys still have some good camaraderie all the way till the end. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for the final moto of the night, 450 Moto 2 right now at RedBud. Well, looking at Adam Holm this time, he is not going to get to the corner first. It looks like it's going to be Carter. It is. Braden Carter picks up the Studio 8 Whole Shot Award. I see Blakely up there. Johnson going down into the second corner. He may have taken Lang with him. There's a huge pileup going down the second straightaway. A lot of guys going down, but it's Carter again leading. Blakely right there. I think that might be Pablo Vial right there in third, but he just went down, and Leclerc is going to move into third place. So a couple of guys getting together at the bottom of the hill. Wow, that was chaotic to start, and we'll see how far down Johnson is after being down going into the second corner, but it's Blakely, Leclerc alongside Copeland, Mitchell, Speck, Seabolt, Adam Holm, Kerr, Austin Bear, Dylan Adams, Castellaneta, Reno Brennan, Jack Haley with a good start this time around, Sam Goffam, Cole Gress, Ashton Rakowski. There is Payson Johnson, so Lang did go down with him because he is behind him. And Johnson, he went from like middle to far right of the track and collected with somebody else on the straightaway there next to the mechanics area going out of the first corner. So honestly, from my view, it kind of looked like his fault, but it might have just been an awkward kick and I missed the beginning of that sequence. Either way, he's got some work to do, just like he did in the first moto. But they, again, are all chasing Braden Carter, who did the same thing in the first moto, got the whole shot, and tried to pull away a little bit before he started making a little bit of mistakes. And there already... a little bit of a bobble right there. It looks like Leclerc has already moved into second place. Yes, he has. So Leclerc into second. And, is that Caden Speck going down? Tough look right there. But let's get a look at who is doing the leap on the first lap here as Carter on the 9 comes through at the bottom of the hill here. He is up to the top. He is jumping the leap. We'll pull out, take a look at who does it. Leclerc also doing it with relative ease. Not seeing the skins on that guy. We got Holm not doing it. Copeland did do it. That is Copeland, I think, alongside of one of the Phil's riders. Oh, big crash right there. 41 of Caden Speck coming up well short. There's Lang. He's actually now ahead of Johnson. So interesting turn of events right there. Didn't see Reno Brennan this time. I wonder if he's a little bit further down the order. And Pablo Vial, who I think had the good start, he is also buried down the order as well. So tough luck for the man who was towards the front in that first moto. Devin Davis, who is inside the top 10 in the first moto, he's also buried. So a couple guys having some rough starts in this one. again, Carter leading 2.8 seconds already on Leclerc. And we'll have to keep an eye on where Lang and Johnson are as they progress through the field. But this is exactly the same scenario we saw in the first moto. The only difference I would say is that Carter a little bit had some breathing room. Lang was coming from third, but I forget who it was in second early on there. And Carter put a gap on that rider early in the first moto. I don't see that happening here because Leclerc is the man in second. And if we go back to the first moto, Leclerc is actually doing faster laps most of the moto than Carter was. So it's going to be prime opportunity for Leclerc to establish himself at the front of this one and try to put a gap on the field before Johnson or Lang or anybody else gets there. But of course, he's going to have to go through Carter, who was no slouch in the first moto whatsoever. He definitely kept with those guys all the way through and proved he has the speed to win a moto. Just is going to take a little bit more of putting a full moto together to actually get it done. So Carter just hopping through ahead of Leclerc. Leclerc closing up, but then he's going to make a mistake and slide out. That's come to like nearly a dead stop right there before rolling over the top of the tabletop. But he continues on still in second place. Did not lose a position there in the process. All these 450 guys pretty easily hopping over the leap from pretty much any rut in the corner as long as they can get that rear wheel traction planted. Oof. Getting reports that Johnson already crashed 5 times in this moto. Lang is up to 12th. And no sign yet in the leaderboard at the top of Johnson as Leclerc continues to try to reel in Carter at the front of this field. Pablo Vial now poking his head into the top 20. Johnson now in 22nd by the looks of it. So definitely a lot of work to do. This is the best news that Carter and Leclerc could ask for, is Johnson to have a horrendous start to this one. I mean, he's just, based on timing and scoring, already almost 40 seconds down of Carter out front. So if you think about it literally, Johnson was doing lap times in the area of about 3 to 4 seconds faster than Carter per lap. So even to do that consistently, he'd have to have, 10 laps before you even catch Carter on raw pace. But that's assuming he doesn't have any more crashes. But that's also assuming Carter doesn't have any crashes. So a lot of racing left to go here. And we'll see whether or not Johnson can make quick work of some of the guys around him, or if he continues to kind of struggle with that. Either way, Leclerc is definitely catching Carter right now. And that might be more or less the bigger problem for Johnson trying to come forward in this one, is if Leclerc gets into the lead and starts putting a gap on the field, it'll be tough to catch him. That's kind of Leclerc's mantra, is to get out front early, put a big gap, and then control the race from there. He's really good at that. So he's trying to close back up on Carter. This is pretty much about the exact spot that they were last lap through there, but then Leclerc front end tuck on exit of that inside rut cost him quite a bit of time. Ooh, that's a big mistake right there for Leclerc as he pushes through all the ruts right there. Goes a little bit wide. Carter's responding pretty well to the pressure, I must say. 207 flat and a 207.5. This is some good pace out of both of these guys. You can already see the map in the upper right-hand corner details where everybody is. The green dot is your race leader, Braden Carter, and the red arrow, who we're on board with right now, is Alexis Leclerc. They are putting some time on the rest of the field already, and a battle for third place is brewing. Adam Holm and Jeremy Siebold. So Holm just got around Siebold, I think, is how that position sequence just happened, but Siebold might be trying to fight back here. They're going to be side by side going up the hill. Dualies. But Holm shuts the door and holds steady. Oh, Carter went down. Carter has gone down with the race lead, so Leclerc is taking it over. So a turn of events just like that puts the Frenchman out front. Ooh, little rear end kick. hopping through those ruts a little bit awkwardly. Carter now settles into second place, but he will have some pressure from behind before long here in the form of Adam Holm and Jeremy Siebold. Oh, and now Leclerc was down. Dualies as he picks it back up alongside Carter, but suddenly what was a comfortable lead for really both Carter and Leclerc has turned into nearly a four-rider battle at the front. And that's just more ammo for Lang and Johnson trying to work their way forward. They will suddenly not be that far behind. Lang now only 17 seconds down in 8th place. We'll see what the gap is for Johnson and where he has made it to at this point as Leclerc goes back to the front on Carter. But these two look set to commence a bit of a battle here. Actually, Johnson has not made much inroads just yet by the looks of it. Still 37 seconds down in 18th place. As Leclerc controls it into the first turn and out. And Siebold has gotten around Adam Holm there for 3rd place. Leclerc already starting to open up the gap just a little bit here at the front of the field. And hopping that big quad out to the flat there. Massive airtime for the Frenchman. Carter trying to keep him close. Not letting him go just yet. Wants to try to fight back against the number 7 machine. Looking like a Supercross battle right here. These two, like I said in the first moto, they went tooth and nail in Supercross, brought it all the way to the final round of the season. And Carter more or less had it really in his back pocket by the final round. But Leclerc still had a chance to win it. And it was a good fight between both of them all season long. But now they've taken it outside. And the fighting continues. As of right now, depending on where Johnson can get to, this is actually, at the moment at least, your battle for the overall win. Leclerc has it with a 3-1, but a 4-1 would beat a 3-2 if Carter could take it over. And then at that point, it would come down to where we could see Tyler Lang get to. Lang was 2nd in the first moto. But of course, we also have to keep an eye on where Johnson gets to. Sounds like he is not having much of a fun time down the order, though, as Leclerc has opened up a little bit more of a gap now on Carter out to about 2 seconds. And actually, Siebold is starting to lurk on these guys a little bit. So Jeremy Siebold, former 450 Supercross champion in this game, I believe a 250 national champion as well at one point, but it's been a little while. 2:08.5 last time by. He's 2.8 behind Carter right now. Those guys are doing 207s, 206s, so he is right in the mix in terms of lap times. Maybe not right there, but oh, and just as I say that, go back on board with him, and he's flipping down the hill. Adam Holm going to go back by into 3rd place, and Siebold should be A-okay to pick it up here in 4th as he does. Chase Blakely there in 5th. And now Tyler Lang is up to 6th, and he is pretty much right at the tail end of that lead group. Big old Oppo whip to flat. These guys absolutely sending it out there on that wall jump. It's Castellaneta, Kerr, Jack Haley, Austin Bear, Ashton Rakowski, Dylan Copeland, Anthony Pachone, Reno Brennan, Blake O'Brien, Caden Speck, and then Payson Johnson, who right now is still 17th. 2:15 are some of the lap times he's been putting down, 2:11.3. So it's looking pretty impossible to win this moto, but every time I say that, then he goes beast mode. So at this point, I'm just saying it to hope that it happens. But I don't know, man. He is still about 40 seconds down on the leaders, and we are approaching halfway. He's going to need some serious help. Like I said earlier, he has the ability to go about 4 seconds a lap faster than those guys, but now he doesn't have the time to do it either. There's not going to be 10 laps left of this race to try to catch those guys. As, almost getting into the back of Anthony Pachone. Oh, still almost getting into the back of him. Those guys going a little bit tooth and nail there. But Pachone, for the time being at least, will hold the position. Oh, cool perspective here on board with Johnson to see kind of dually scrubs off of that flag jump. Johnson going double, triple. The inside. And looks like in the end he'll make a relatively simple pass there up into 16th place. But that is just currently the perspective of our championship leader, like we said, with a lot of work to do. So there's Leclerc out front, chugging along with the race lead and looking for his now first overall win of the season. This would be his second moto win of the year. But we also have to talk about as well, not only would Johnson snap his 7 moto win streak at the moment, he's also looking at potentially losing the, quote, perfect season, which is to win every overall. Oh, getting kicked a little sideways on corner entry right there. Let's see, what's our closest battle? Perhaps here the teammates. Alex Kerr on the 48. Jack Haley on the 2. Watch this battle for a little bit, then we got a request to see some Leclerc on board, so we'll jump over there in a minute. But I want to see if Haley can push up to his teammate here, Kerr, try to go around him. Haley on the 2, he's been good this year. Not sure what happened in the first moto, but we officially have him classified as finishing dead last, so I'm not sure if he made the start or not. But now trying to get around his teammate, Kerr. Haley officially did complete a lap in the first moto, but lasted 2 minutes and 38 seconds before he DNF'd, so not sure. And to the inside, oh, Kerr almost loops out. So Haley takes over the position and might actually get up to chase Blakely soon here, as Blakely is pirouetted in the last turn, and Haley's going to close up as Blakely lands the finish line jump there just ahead of him. So let's go on board the Lexus Leclerc and see what our race leader is doing out here. I'm actually going to go quiet here for a minute, so for you new viewers out there, listen into how Leclerc rides the bike. He's very high in the gear, usually low in the revs, kind of lugs the bike a lot through the corners. So just listen in to listen to how he rides the bike here. So yeah, that's just kind of an experience of what it's like to watch Leclerc work his magic. You can definitely hear a lot of the kind of blipping the throttle through the corners and then keeping it in the low revs so the rear end doesn't kick out. If you come through these corners and you just spin it wide open, the rear end will just go right around on you. Or if you're in a deep enough rut, it might just loop you out because it'll grip so hard. So for Leclerc, you can see he's really smart about maintaining momentum, finding the right throttle range through each corner, and also shifting a lot. The speedometer on the bottom right-hand corner, he is in 5th gear in a lot of these corners, and he'll drop all the way down to 2nd or 1st in some occasions. As we watch him, he's going down. Well, he had a huge lead. He had 19 seconds on Jeremy Siebold, but he's gone down. And where is Carter gone? Wow, Braden Carter slips all the way back to 5th spot, now behind Tyler Lang, his teammate. But Leclerc's going to retain the lead, as now Siebold and Holm are battling it out for 2nd place. And we are starting to get on the doorstep of a potential Holm podium if things fall the way of the 17 machine here a little bit more. But how about Jeremy Siebold? Strong first moto for him. He was 7th. Pace was good. We know he's talented in this game, but as we've mentioned a couple times this year, he has been a little bit in and out of MX Simulator the last couple of years. Never has really seemed to put like the full effort into the game like he did when he won his championship in 2020 in Supercross. And he's also been competing in MX bikes in the pro scene over there as well. So he has jumped around a little bit between games and trying some different competitive scenes. But man, on his days, he was arguably one of the fastest riders of all time on his days for sure. And it's pretty cool to see him back out here really putting it down in the 450 class once again. Adam Holmes still right there, though. Just trying to match his pace, keep it close, hope something happens. And Carter's back here. Looks like he just got around Lang, so Lang's woes continue. He was 2nd in the first moto, but honestly, he kind of got there based on other people's misfortunes in the end. Chase Blakely having a solid moto back here as well. Blakely was 13th in the first moto, so improved thus far here in Moto 2, and I think a lot of that he can attribute to a better start this time around. He got out towards the front early on and has sort of maintained this positioning throughout. Alex Kerr also having a strong moto on the 48. Good on him. And then Johnson crossing the line. He is now in 8th, but he just did a 2:03.4. And Johnson's starting to wick it back up and try to maybe get inside of the top 5 here before this thing is done. We didn't see it, but we're getting some reports in chat that there's a lap rider that was going the wrong way on the track and actually hit Johnson, and Johnson went down. So we're not sure of that entire situation at all, but unfortunately, it sounds like Johnson's been dealing with a lot of problems this moto that are more or less out of his control. Definitely catching Alex Kerr ahead of him rather quickly. And that 2:03.4 is otherworldly, though. To do it in a moto, I mean, these guys are doing them in qualifying, I get it, but to wick it up and do that pace in a moto, I cannot explain to you how difficult that is, because you're not focused on one single lap. You're like, okay, just another lap and another lap and another lap and connect the sections and whatever. And sometimes it does start to pick up your flow a little bit and you really start actually going faster. But still, I think that these guys in a single lap, it's just poetry to watch. So to do it during a moto when you're focused on longevity and consistency, pretty impressive, as Kerr is going to go through the front door and Johnson will rather easily make a pass into 7th. But I want to stay on board with him here till the end and see what lap he puts down this time by. Now just 5 seconds off of the rider ahead of him. Man, still got the drive from that second rut, even with a pretty notchy run up to the face of that one to bust the leap. One of the Panini Motorsports riders, that is Peter Like. And Johnson will go 2:05.8. So that is, again, another pretty solid lap for the 51. It is Blakely that he's trying to catch. And Carter, Lang, Siebold, Holm now into 2nd. And Leclerc continues to lead this race at the front of the field. Let's give you guys a top 20 rundown because we haven't done one just yet. And kind of give you a clue as to where maybe your favorite rider is down the order. But Alexis Leclerc on the Panini Motorsports backed by SafeMoo number 7. Leads the way here in Moto 2, in position at the moment to get his first overall win of the season and stop the perfect overall streak of the 2022 thus far for Payson Johnson. Adam Holman second, Aspect Visual code number 17. He was 5th in the first moto, and we'll again have to see where it all plays out, but he might be in line for a podium today. That would be really cool to see. Jeremy Siebold, Covenant number 18, is in 3rd. He was 7th in the first moto, so probably just too far out here at this point to get on the box. But still a very solid effort for Siebold today. Tyler Lang, he is in 4th right now. The Underground Phil's number 1, and he was 2nd in the first moto. So at the moment, at least, that is your 2nd overall position, I believe. We'll have to see where Johnson is here in a minute. He's 7th. So 2-4-1-7. I'll have to do some math. But anyway, Braden Carter, Phil's Underground RC number 9, back here in P5 right now. He was 4th in the first moto. So just a solid day all around. And Johnson, is actually up to 6th now. So he must have, yeah, Blakely just went down, I think. So Payson Johnson now into 6th. Oh my gosh, I thought he was going over the bars right there. 2:05.8, trying to weave through lap traffic. The Privateer championship leader on the number 51 machine, knocking on the door of a top 5 after a dismal moto thus far. He is in 6th. Chase Blakely, BPC number 21, in 7th. Jack Haley, the number 2 Jack Daniels Racing machine, is in 8th. Alex Kerr, his teammate on the Jack Daniels Racing number 48, is in 9th. And Brayden Castellaneta on the number 26 Underground RC backed by Phil's is in 10th. Pablo Vial, Yogi Designs number 137, in 11th. Anthony Pachone, the Spink number 127, is in 12th. 13th for Blake O'Brien on the 167 machine. 14th for Ashton Rakowski, the Pluto number 924 ride. Austin Bear on the number 70 Yogi Designs ride sits in 15th. 16th for Dylan Copeland, BPC backed by Tiger Designs number 63 ride out there. 17th for Kyle Carpenter on the Tiger Designs backed by JDR number 39 ride. 18th for Bob Joe, Jack Daniels Racing 91. 19th for Jeff Cooper on the Yogi number 117. And 20th for Reno Brennan, the Wildside Designs number 422. And as a run through the order here late in 450 Moto 2 at RedBud. Shout out to Pradani, also known as Johnny Padani, for the €5 donation into the chat. Maybe one day I'll be able to put 2 motos together. Thanks for putting these on as usual, Kellen. And if you guys remember, unfortunately for Johnny Padani, a podium in the first moto of the 250 class was abruptly followed by a non-point scoring ride in the second moto. So a good day in one sense to get on the box for a moto, but a bad day in the other to not score points in both motos. And I'm sure he'll probably end up somewhere 10th, 11th overall on the day. So not all terrible in the end, but certainly I'm sure he had high hopes for that second moto, and it did not come to fruition. So Leclerc still in control, Adam Holm still in second, but Lang has caught Adam Holm. And this is a battle for second in the race, but not second overall. That is Lang's for the taking right now, but he could gain a couple more points in his favor if he's able to get around Holm and get into second. Go 2-2 on the day, but as I say that, he pushes and goes down. So Siebold's going to go by, as will Braden Carter. And Lang turns around just... Oh, no, I thought Johnson was coming, but he'll get going now in 5th position. And Johnson... Whoa! Now Adam Holmes slips behind Lang. Not sure what happened to the 17, but he was down. And Johnson still has quite a bit of work to do to get to this group. So if he wants to get inside of the top 5, and that just actually threw a podium out the door for Adam Holm, who had it in hand there for quite a while. We are in the final just about 3 minutes and 2 laps of this moto, though. So coming down to the nitty-gritty, Jeremy Siebold has moved into second place. Braden Carter is in 3rd. Tyler Lang right behind him in 4th. And then Adam Holm right there as well in 5th. All these guys are running at this point, trying to keep Payson Johnson behind them. And they're going to have 4 more laps to try to deal with that situation. All the while trying to catch and pass each other as well. No one's going to catch and pass Leclerc. He is long gone at the front of the field, and unless Johnson gets all of these guys and gets in a second, Leclerc is going to pick up his first overall win of the year. If Johnson gets to 3rd, it still doesn't matter. Leclerc would go 3-1 to Johnson's 1-3, which would be enough for Leclerc to get his first overall of the year. Here we go. Teammates battling. Lang starting to struggle a little bit. The suspension rebound and heavy coming into those braking bumps. And Carter putting the pressure on his defending champion teammate. Look at this. Ooh, a nose. Had to back out of the challenge. It is close. Let's see if he tries an inside move here. Hops across the track to block off Devin Davis, who is in 25th, a lap down. Lang with a nice scrub off of this tabletop. Now hard on the brakes to this middle line here. Oh, I thought Carter was going to make that inside line work, but just kind of notched it a little bit awkwardly. And instead, Lang going nose high on the leap. Carter's down. He cases the leap heavy and goes over the bars. So Holm goes by. Johnson is suddenly right there on Holm. And this is going to get interesting because he is trying to lap Devin Davis here. 2:03.8 for Johnson. Once again, he has decided to run quali laps. And if he gets around Adam Holm, that will be 4th place, which I think guarantees him 2nd overall. Holm gonna defend. Johnson tucks to the inside. Let's see where they go here. Far inside versus middle. Holm kind of jumps the rut to defend. And we are within the final minute at this point. Johnson to the outside, though. Beautiful pass to get into that 4th position. And the pace that he's carrying right now, look at that, just launching out the flat, landing on that rear tire, scrubbing the uphill triple. So T-Lang up ahead of him is in 3rd, and if he could get to Seabolt, which, tell you what, folks, kind of is looking a bit possible here, especially with these guys trying to weave through lap traffic. Lang just got into that lap traffic. Oh, and then Johnson hits the lap rider. It's Daniel Mills, and he goes down. So never mind. I was about to say, if he could get to Seabolt, that would steal the overall win back in his favor. But now, once again, he's going to need some help. He keeps getting close, and then things like that will happen. He's going to get right back around Carter as he crosses over in front of the 9. But Seabolt, Lang, 4 seconds apart. Holm, another 4 seconds behind him. And then Johnson, 2 seconds behind Holm. So again, you know, it's still possible. Those guys are not that far ahead of him. But boy, oh boy, he needs to do some work here in these 2 laps. If he runs 2 qualifying laps, you never know. But the 2-lap board has been displayed. Alexis Leclerc checked in about 10 seconds ago to get the 2-lap board. Oh, Johnson just getting over the leap and then crossing over lines right there. He can see Adam Holm right now right in front of him. So Holm running in 4th, but Johnson sneaking up, wants to take that spot away. Gonna get to the inside right here. And, I mean, there's just nothing you can do if you're Adam Holm right there. Just a quick, brisk pass for Johnson up into 4th. So there is Lang. And then going the other way now, coming down the hill is Seabolt. So there's Seabolt. There's Roy Mitchell a lap down. There's Lang. And then there's Johnson. So that is the gap Johnson has to make up in a very short time frame. But if anybody on this track could do it, it would be him. And he's trying at this point to keep the perfect overall season alive. He is not going to keep the perfect moto season alive, but that was already gone at the 2nd moto of the season when he lost the 2nd moto of Fox Raceway. But he has won every single overall in the first 4 rounds of the year, and he's trying to keep that streak going here tonight. Oh, no! And then he yards it coming down in the off-camber, and that will probably end it this time for sure. I would have to imagine there's 0 chance that Seabolt's going to blow it from that far down. Adam Holm just went down, so that's going to be Carter and Johnson both getting back by him. But, I mean, Seabolt is... I mean, I guess if he has a fall-off crash, but then he still would have to get Lang, who's a couple seconds now behind Seabolt. Meanwhile, Leclerc, cruise control out front, and about to pick up the white flag this time by. So final sequence of corners here, and the white flag is about to be waving. He doesn't know what's happening behind him. All he can do is try to win this moto and hope it is for the overall. But a 3-1 will get it done so long as Johnson doesn't get into second place in this moto. Seabolt is there, trying to hold on in the final stages of this one. Tyler Lang is also in third. Carter is in fourth, and Johnson is down in fifth, and he's off the bike again. So Adam Holm is going to go back by. Have to imagine that seals the deal. As Holm gets a little bit sideways, he and Johnson are going to be bar to bar going up the leap, and Holm, didn't have the drive. So Johnson jumps right over top of him as Carter picks up the white flag ahead of these guys. Incredible set of 450 motos here today, though. It's just endless drama, especially when Payson Johnson continues to struggle with his first laps. Bad starts and those struggles coming up to bite him. Also, update in chat, allegedly this is going to be Alexis Leclerc's 50th career victory, which you don't need to look that up, folks. That is more than anybody else. If it's his 450 overall wins in the Nationals, that is definitely more than anybody else. If it's his 50th career win when you combine it with Supercross and Motocross, I believe Jeremy Smith has 56 wins when you combine Supercross and Motocross between 250 and 450 action. Leclerc has always been a 450 rider. He's never been in the 250 class before. But still, 50 wins in a career in this game is incredible. And awesome stuff to see Leclerc finally hit this elusive milestone if it comes true. So final 3 corners of the track here at RedBud. And a Frenchman looks like he is going to spoil the American party here today as he comes up the leap one more time. But we talked about it in the intro. Leclerc has always been good at RedBud. It's one of his best tracks on the calendar, and he's going to shine through again today. Moto 2 belongs to Leclerc, but more importantly, RedBud belongs to Alexis Leclerc. A 3-1 performance should be enough. Jeremy Seabolt finishing in second in this moto will seal the deal officially. So we'll wait for that to happen. But we have just seen the perfect season snapped. Payson Johnson will not have every overall to himself this year. And that is now confirmed. Jeremy Seabolt finishing second in this one means Leclerc is your overall winner. Lang picks up third. Oh, Carter down in the last turn. That'll gift Johnson fourth, which means he will only lose 2 points on the day. And Carter getting up side by side with Holm. They're going to cross 9/100ths of a second apart as Blakely crosses the line 7th. Pablo Vial 8th. Should be good to go there. Jack Haley looking like he'll bring it home in 9th. And Braden Castellaneta will wrap it up in 10th. And yes, Leclerc has been racing for a decade at this point. I believe his debut was in the 2013 Nationals when he was number 811. Oh, Castellaneta nearly coming together, and he will cross the line there in 10th. Leclerc actually might... Well, Dennis Fjellberg and Leclerc would, I guess, be tied for the longest tenure as a single digit in the game. Actually, no, excuse me. That would be Jeremy Smith. What am I thinking? Jeremy Smith won the 2013 250 National Championship, and he's been number 4 ever since. None of the guys, I think, besides that, have had it longer. The 2 has shifted hands a lot. Dennis Fjellberg has been number 3 since 2014. Alexis Leclerc has been number 7 since 2014. But 9 has moved around a lot. 8 has moved around. 6 has moved around. 5 has also moved around as Carpenter and Bear finished this thing off. Down to 20th, it was Rakovsky, Bob Joe, Brennan, Copeland, Cooper, Bear, Carpenter, O'Brien, Kerr, Pichon, Castellaneta, Haley, Vial, Blakely, Holm, Carter, Johnson, Lang, Seabolt, and Leclerc. We're waiting for one rider to finish up, and we'll get cuts to make this thing official here tonight. And there we go. So the perfect overall season has been snapped. Alexis Leclerc gets it done here tonight at RedBud. Jeremy Seabolt, Lang, and Johnson through Carter inside the top 5. Anything changed behind that? Looks like Copeland got a spot on Blake O'Brien. couple of shifting positions down the order as well. And Rakowski stays in 20th. What a night. Crazy night of racing. And a lot of fun had overall here at RedBud. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Start Your Systems. And of course, Init Esports on Twitch and ESTV. Kellen Brower in the booth bringing you guys the action here tonight at RedBud. Hopefully we had a fun time, enjoyed the racing, and yeah, a lot more to come. We still have 7 rounds of this championship to go. We will be back same time, same place next week for the Southwick National in MX Simulator. That'll be a lot of fun as well. A sand track that is very technical and challenging. Great stuff here tonight at RedBud, though. Good races in both classes. Definitely the 450 classes 450 class motos seem to provide a lot of entertainment and a good show all around. Thanks, of course, as always, to Init Esports and Race Factor Gaming for putting this on. You guys can check them out at initesports.gg or racefactorgaming.com. If you'd like to try this game out, mxsimulator.com is the place to do it. There's a free demo there to play, and you can see what this game is all about. As always, a big shout out to all the sponsors that help put the series on, and of course, the Race Factor Gaming track crew for building this track every single week for us. That is it for us here at RedBud, though, and we hope to see you guys next week in Southwick, but I'm going to sign off from now here at Start Your Systems, and we'll see you guys in Massachusetts next week. So long for now.